Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm Alex Huffman,
This is Josh Card.
and we are A Division players from the Magic City Pinball League in Birmingham, Alabama. And what we're going to be looking at today is the A Division Finals. The players in the A Division Finals are Chris Warren, who you see on the screen right there. You can see the corner of my head. Josh is in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and up first is going to be David Taylor. David's a player who's been with the Magic City Pinball League for about 3 seasons now and has worked his way up pretty quickly up the ladder and certainly deserves to be in the A Division Finals.
Absolutely.
So, what is your basic strategy on ACDC?
Well, really, it looks like what David's going for right now is he's going for Highway to Hell, which, in my opinion, is an all-right mode, but really, since he's playing a premium model, it really, it's a very much risk versus reward maneuver. And he drains right off the bat. That must have really rustled his jimmies.
That was a rough drain there for David. He's not going to be happy with that one. So we'll see who's up next and see if they can do any better.
I don't know who'd be up next. Probably some schmuck.
It is a schmuck, indeed. His name is Josh Card, right here on the mic next to me. So we'll see if Josh can get anything going here and if he's able to do any better. Now, which song did you choose?
I usually go for Thunderstruck personally, just because I'm really bad at not hitting my shots. And if I play Thunderstruck, it'll give me a good opportunity to get points while also kind of just screwing up my shots.
So, in the Thunderstruck mode, what is the main objective?
The main objective is to hit your Thunderstruck targets when they're lit. They alternate 1, 2, 3, and go back and forth.
So, the Thunderstruck targets are next to the ramps?
Yes, they are. Yes,
so,
they
those are pretty dangerous shots.
They are, but if you're trying to hit your ramps, which you kind of want to do in order to get the jam multi-ball, you'll hit them pretty often.
So, you're saying that if you're hitting your ramps, you're working towards your multi-ball, but if you're missing your ramps, you're working towards your mode.
Absolutely.
So it's sort of a win-win situation, and you can see you jump out to an early lead here.
I do.
Another thing to keep in mind about ACDC is the bell in the center, which you just saw him hit. And when you hit the bell twice within 20 seconds,
I think it's three times in 20 seconds.
Within 20 seconds,
it lights 2x scoring.
2x
yes.
scoring, and hit it again within that 20-second window.
I want to say hit
2
more times,
and
it's 3x scoring. It looks like I drained there, couldn't save it off. It looks like the right out lane, but that's a common thing because of that big old cannon there.
Yeah, there's a bit of an obstruction there with the cannon. This is a Steve Ritchie design game. It's similar to Star Trek: The Next Generation, for those of you who have played that, where it can be difficult to see the ball in the out lanes.
Yes.
Third player here is Timothy Street, who has
fantastic player. He's been with the leagues. I think he's been with the league since he was like 8 years old.
17 years old now.
He's 17 years old. He's been here since he could barely walk.
Freakishly good.
Very, very good.
And I would say day in and day out, easily probably the top, if not 1 or 2 players in the state.
Oh, absolutely.
Chris Warren, who we'll see here in a minute.
Oh, absolutely. Fantastic player. Fantastic kid.
And
really knows what he's doing as far as the rules.
His dad, Jeff Street, plays. We'll give a shout out to Jeff, who should have made A Division Finals.
If I hadn't have just knocked him out in the...
Josh got him out of there right there at just the last minute.
In the semi-finals, yes.
So the thing about Tim's style of play is that he's a rules guru.
Absolutely. He's an absolute encyclopedia.
He can step up to a game and learn the rules within maybe 1 or 2 times of playing it, and he's good enough to be able to get deep enough in the rules to where you're beyond your basic strategy.
Oh, absolutely. He definitely is, as the kids would say, playing 4-dimensional chess.
Yes.
I mean, he knows what he's doing. And it looks like he had a rough drain there.
Yep.
Tilted, actually. Tilt.
Pretty uncharacteristic drain there from Tim.
If I remember correctly, the machine this evening was playing a little bit weird. I had re-leveled it a little bit beforehand, but where it was on the wall, see we're in the mall, it had gotten actually into a little bit of a divot, so it was actually tilting very easy tonight, so it was getting a lot of wobble.
Well, we certainly appreciate you, and Homer Brown. We'll give a shout out to
Homer Brown of Bumper Nets.
Of Bumper Nets, who is the pinball capital of Birmingham, Alabama.
In the Southeast.
And certainly we couldn't do it without him.
Absolutely. From beginner to pro, Bumper Nets is the place to go.
So, this is Chris Warren stepping up here, who I believe is currently second in the state standings behind Tim. And he is the founder of the Magic City Pinball League, and certainly another one of those guys who has been around for a while, knows the rules to the game, and is in my mind at least the submarine king, because he's on several occasions I was ahead and he came back and swiftly.
Oh yes, the hunt for Red October, absolutely.
So he's usually a guy who listens to music, but he left his headphones.
Yes, he left his headphones in his carry-on luggage after playing, I want to say, a tournament up in Nashville. Now, he plays for Hell's Bells. If I remember correctly, we've chatted about it on many occasions. He likes doing that because every single shot you hit, I want to say, on your VIP pass, counts towards one of your multipliers, which can be very handy during multi-ball, but also he's just good at hitting that center shot.
If you plan on getting further in the game, certainly that can
well,
be beneficial.
Honestly, if you're playing at this level, unless you're just having an absolute, drainer of a ball, you're going to be, getting several multi-balls over the course of your game.
So we'll see what strategy Chris decides to do here. It looks like he's going to ramp out and work towards
Yeah, it looks like
jam.
he usually works towards jam first. He's very good at comboing those ramps, but as always, he can always kick back at you pretty nasty off those standoffs.
So tell me about the lower playfield. Is that something you want to
So
go
the lower
for typically?
playfield on ACDC, it looks like he had a nasty drain off the ramp.
Yep.
A halfway ramp on ACDC will just kill
That's
you.
a death sentence right there.
I mean, any game halfway up a ramp will usually kill you, but ACDC is particularly nasty.
This is a game that really rewards accurate shooting.
It really does. It really does. It also rewards not draining out the outlane. Now, see, David just got a ball save off there, which he surely deserved. If I remember correctly, this is about a week ago since we've recorded this. He was just having a real bugger of a night, just draining real bad.
When I was giving out the Huffy Awards this morning, I gave David the Mike Gray Tilt Award, which goes to the best rage tilt in the finals.
Absolute shout out to Southern Coin Op and Mike Gray, who runs that. He's a tilter of a guy. He just loves to tilt his games.
Yes, we have a thing called the grayscale. So a 1 on the grayscale is a gentle shake, and then if you have a 10, that's a game that goes through the ceiling or the wall.
Yes, as he affectionately says, he's just checking the coin box, making sure there's money in there.
Mike is a great guy, and he's a hoot to be around.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what David can do here. You can see that he is now in the lower playfield.
Yes, on the lower playfield, going back to what we were talking about, any of the songs that have the word hell in them, you can access the lower playfield either via the right ramp or via behind the bell in the case of Hell's Bells. And I want to say hell ain't a bad place to be, but don't quote me on that.
And you can see, at least early in the game, that it brought his score from about 1 million to about 5 million. But
absolutely, you can get a decent amount of points.
In the grand scheme of things,
it's not much. It's small potatoes in this game.
When you're looking for a score of, in an A division final of, you would say about 100 million.
I'd say you're safe around 100 million. Yeah. Honestly, the real big place on this game.
That is a rough,
real nasty,
slow death drain there. He's not happy with that.
No, he had to have seen that coming, and it couldn't have felt good. But yeah, no, definitely in the grand scheme of things, 6 million in this game is small potatoes. You almost have to play it a little bit like Terminator 2. And I mean that as far as what you're going for is a 2x or a 3x super jackpot.
Right.
And on this game, you get a super jackpot while in multi-ball, getting your all your shots taken care of on your playfield.
Yeah, so your 5 main shots, your left orbit, left ramp, the bell, the right orbit, and the right ramp will light super jackpot.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will.
And also give you an animal.
Yes, they will. And the best way to do that is actually via your VIP passage. You get 1 via regular skill shot or 2 via super skill shot.
And you can't see it in the video, but the action button below the flippers in the center of the lockdown bar is a button that you can press to activate your VIP pass, which will count towards one of your made shots in multi-ball.
Yes.
So the main strategies there are 3 major multi-balls: Jam, Album, and Tour multi-ball, the most common being Jam.
Yes, Jam is most common because you get off the ramps. Album's a close second just because it's off drop targets. Now, Tour's a weird one because it's only made off of your loops. And I mean that your left loop and your right orbit. Same thing. Anyway, and I want to say it takes like 7 or 8 of those. So it's not a particularly common multi-ball to see, and it doesn't give you much. It's only a 2-ball.
And I wouldn't recommend, as a basic strategy, going for album multi-ball, because you're likely to get those stand-up and drop targets just missing shots.
Oh, absolutely. Or just, it's one of those games where you can really just, fire your ball at drop targets and just have them knock down a whole bunch at the same time.
So I did notice here that you stacked jam and album multi-ball.
Yes, I did.
Was
yes,
that on
I did.
purpose?
Yes, well, not really. I was planning on jam, and I noticed I had album, and I said, well, I really need to take this.
Because essentially what, at least from my perspective, is that in doing that, you are increasing the amount of your jackpots, but not by that much.
Well, it's not really that I'm increasing the amount of my jackpots. I'm increasing my ability to score jackpots. So, during jam multi-ball, only my ramps are lit for jackpots. If I have album multi-ball, both my ramps and my
so that kind of
drop
goes
targets.
back to aim for the ramps, and if you miss, you
Absolutely. So really, I'm just trying to get the ball away from the flippers. I'm trying to keep them away from downstairs and just kind of keep them going. Now, if I remember correctly, around this time the game gets real nasty and gives me a double drain, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it gave me a real nasty. There's one drain. Yep, there it is. There's the second one.
So the big points from this game, aside from your double and triple jackpots, is a thing called your song bonus.
Yeah, song bonuses are quite a bit.
And a song bonus is built up during your mode. As you make your shots, the more mode shots you make, it adds to your song bonus.
Yes, and it's earned the same way as a super jackpot. It's earned on the same shot. The AC/DC targets, if you'll see them toward the left-hand side, firing a shot towards that off the cannon.
Yes, so it'd be a similar situation like that. That was a song jackpot, was it not?
Yes,
collected?
It was. It was only a 1x, but you'll notice how it brought my score up to like 60, 70 million versus a paltry 2 to 3.
Ideally, that's one of the great things about this game too, is because ideally, if you're playing an arcade setting by yourself, you would try to go for the bell and double or triple that 23 million. But in this competitive setting,
the bell is such a dangerous shot. You almost, unless you have ball save on, you wouldn't even want to go for it. Or pull a Chris Warren and have your song jackpot, but your VIP pass be your both out of ball and 2x, 3x scoring.
If you have that kind of control.
And absolutely, but players at this level, you're kind of assuming that kind of control.
Of course.
No, not always.
But that's one of the great things about this game, is that it makes you think about the way that you play the rules to your advantage.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because you could have solidified a victory, but at the same time, as soon as you drain, you lose that song jackpot. So if you didn't take the 23 million and brick the next shot,
you'd be just,
your opportunity is gone.
Absolutely gone.
So that's a really great
he's in the
rule
multi-ball
design.
again.
So this is Tim, stepped up again here. We would expect to see a lot of him.
Oh, and he went for his bell on his cannon shot instead of his AC/DC. That's a very common strategy amongst top-level players.
Yeah, if your song jackpot is not worth a lot, it's a good idea to
300,000. Yeah.
Go ahead and take that bell shot, because it's one less that you have to try to make. Which
absolutely. And a nasty
left or
jam
right on that.
Nasty triple drain on jam.
Yeah, he's not too pleased with that one.
Not a happy camper.
Knowing the way that he plays, it's not unreasonable to expect him to come back and win at any given moment at any game. Tim's a guy who's had plenty of tournament experience, and he's gone to large tournaments and
many large tournaments. The largest.
I'm trying to think. Southern Fried being a big one.
Oh, he goes to Pop every year.
Papa goes to Pop every year. Chris placed 4th place in the Louisville Arcade Expo tournament this year, which is a circuit.
Oh, and nasty tilt from
major.
Chris. Yeah, like I said, the tilt was just being brutal tonight.
That is one thing that you'll notice from players of this caliber, is that they're not afraid to tilt.
Oh, absolutely. If you're not tilting, you're not trying.
If you were to, that's a really good way to think of, and it's something that you actually have to go and practice, because if you are, you can't take those tilt warnings with you, and a ball with two tilt warnings is always going to be worth more than a ball in the trough.
Oh, absolutely worth more than a ball in the trough. Now, keep in mind, you can't go too far with that and lose your bonus. So, on a newer Stern with a bonus, really, it can either be not much or, it just depends. If you're playing like an older Bally, let's say Paragon, Dolly Parton, Future Spa, really any older game, bonus is one of an incredible amount. I mean, almost you'll earn more off bonus than you will on the playfield. But these newer Sterns, you're almost always in good modes.
Yeah, that's something that you have to keep in mind. If you're deep in your ball and you've accrued decent bonus, you might want to be a little more ginger. But especially on ball 3 and ball 1, you can afford to be a little bit more aggressive.
Oh, absolutely on ball 1 and ball 3.
On ball 1, it gives you an opportunity if you do tilt. You still have 2 more balls, but it also it allows you to figure out where the tilt is.
Absolutely, and a lot of that will come from on-location practice. Now, keep in mind, if you're playing in a major tournament, not just like in an arcade setting like this, you won't really have a chance to feel out those tilts as well.
Right, that is a good point. If you're playing in an arcade, the tilts are going to be a little bit more loose than
they're going to be looser, and they're also going to be more consistent. Like, you're going to be able to play it, come in, put a buck in there, and kind of feel where it is before play any competition games on it.
But if you're a beginning player, you need to take time to practice one thing at a time. I would recommend.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Practice saying, okay, well, I'm not going to let this ball drain until I use both of my warnings.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you'd be surprised at how much you can get away with it.
You really can. It really also depends on the operator, depends on the location. I like to set my games at mid-length tilt. That was a nice shot.
That was a great save.
That was a great save.
Wow.
Whenever I get a good save, or I slap the game a lot and I jump a lot.
He does the leg kick too.
I do the leg kick very severely.
We're gonna have to set up a leg cam next time.
Something like that. But yeah, definitely, you can definitely see I'm having a lot of control on the ball, playing just trying to go for my shots. Good save again.
Nice.
That was a fantastic
Another great
save.
one, yeah.
It's just one of those things, just having control, going for your shots.
So, at this point, you're really just trying to pad your score.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to... Oh, nasty. Real nasty.
That was the same drain that got Chris earlier on the first ball.
Yep, that halfway ramp on AC/DC will just kill you.
That's brutal. So, David ended with 11.6. Josh is sitting pretty comfortably right now at 80 million. And again, Tim stepping up here. It's not out of the question for him to come back.
Oh, absolutely. He can put up 100, 200 million on a game just on a single ball.
Yeah, we often find ourselves going, hey, that was I got this one from Steve Baker, one of our players in the league. He said, hey, that was a nice game you had on that ball.
I know, right? He honestly can put up more on a ball than most players can put up on a single game. Now, it's not always, but he just has that skill within him that he just is able to do that.
And he's been there before.
Absolutely.
League finals for somebody like Tim.
They're just small potatoes.
Right. He's the guy who's going for the state championship.
Oh, he's going for national championships. Definitely a fantastic player.
I'll always say that I got lucky playing Tim in the state finals. I got lucky in one.
He did fantastic in the state finals.
I had a great day.
Oh, yeah.
And he had a really unfortunate bounce on Funhouse that really kind of did it in for him.
Oh, absolutely.
But, I would say day in and day out, Tim and Chris are by far and away the best players in the state.
Absolutely, they're the best players in the state. And a lot of that just comes from constant practice and constant honed skill over many, many, many tournaments.
Yep, and both of these guys have, collections at home. Chris has a beautiful collection of games.
Beautiful collection.
And I know that Tim and his dad, Jeff, they have a very eclectic game collection going all the way back to older EM-style games.
They love EMs.
And some of the modern
Oh, yeah,
terms.
very eclectic, very unique collection. That's definitely been honed over the years. David Taylor, I just thought about that. That similarities this year on A Division is all these players have, I wouldn't say extensive home collections, but at least sizable home collections.
Yes. Where you can get a variety of, pinball is one of those things where until you've seen it 100 times, you're not entirely sure how you're supposed to save that ball.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of that comes from, repeated home play. Personally, I've got a Gorgar, a Future Spa, a Tommy Pinball Wizard, and a X-Files. But
again, pretty eclectic.
Yeah, it's an odd collection, but it's also because I'm cheap.
But they're fun, and they're all really, really nice.
Oh, it's not my X-Files, but that's players conditioned through and through.
But it works.
Hey, it's like a White Star.
People say that if it's not broken, it's not pinball.
Hey, that's right. Pinball machines are always breaking.
So this is a point where the camera actually froze on us for a second.
I want to say it did, yes. We had a mild camera malfunction, but as you can see on the DMD cam, he's still earning really good points on there.
He likes to move around a little bit. Well, it's hard for me to give any criticism for Tim, but for me, I like to keep my head as still as possible.
He definitely moves his head quite a bit.
Because if you are jumping around and you put your body out of position, things happen so quickly. Like if you were to break a shot on the left ramp,
wouldn't have that
and
reaction
it's going
time.
right, it's in the trough by the time that you can move your body back into position to make a save.
And clever moving over to hell. Oh, double danger and a drain.
He's out at
Ball 3.
32 million.
Stop
which is
it,
solid.
Ned, and out.
Which beats David Payne.
Certainly locked himself into third place, and in this competition, every little bit counts. All the plays count.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
This is Chris Warren's final ball on ACDC.
Yes, it is.
And let's see what strategy he chooses.
He's going up the ramp. All right. He's got jam multi-ball lit. Can he make his shot? And he makes his shot. Jam multi-ball.
Drains it. So that's another thing that I have noticed that Chris does really well is he's able to adjust to on-the-fly shooting.
Oh, absolutely. If he needs to. Let's say you're ball 3 and you need points.
And for those of you who don't know, on-the-fly means when a ball is coming from the in lane and is moving and unable to be stopped and controlled, you take the shot while the ball is moving, and it changes your aim. It changes the trajectory of the ball.
Oh, absolutely, because it has speed, momentum, and also spin going behind it. So you definitely have to adjust a cradled shot versus an on-the-fly shot. Now, Steve Ritchie games, the way he designs his games, absolutely rewards on-the-fly playing.
Yes.
They're made just so you can just flow your shots.
You can see how both of the two major ramps, will send the ball back to the player
immediately
to get another
reward
shot.
Those absolute on-the-fly shots. Yeah, he wants you to combo those shots. I've met him in person several times. Wonderful man. Wow, and that is a
kind of
drain.
a rough double drain there for
Rough
Chris,
double drain.
and there's really not much he could have done about that.
So let's see what our final scores are. In 19.
So that means that Josh is in the clubhouse after game 1 with 4 points, 80 million.
Yep.
David is bringing up the rear with 11 million.
Yep.
And Chris is in third place. Timothy Street in second place.
All right.
So the second game we're going to be looking at is another Stern game by Steve Ritchie, Spider-Man.
Yeah, good old Spooderman.
Spoderman.
Yep. Fantastic design. It's actually a Vault Edition, which is a little bit different than the standard. A few of the shots have been tweaked ever so slightly, and it definitely plays close enough to the original that it's not an issue, but it's definitely still a very different beast than a regular Spider-Man.
And the original Spider-Man came out in 2007.
Yep, 2007, yep. With
So another
Sam Raimi. I want to say it came out in commiseration of the Spider-Man 3.
The movie?
Yes, the movie, not the game.
So what is your basic strategy on Spider-Man?
Well, your basic strategy on Spider-Man is going to be to light your locks off your left lock target, which used to be the J. Jonah Jameson shot. The bad thing about Spider-Man Vault Edition is they really tweaked the names a whole lot to match with the Ultimate Spider-Man theme. So a lot of the modes are not named the same. They work the same rules-wise, but when you're talking about the game, it's kind of difficult to kind of say, hey, this is what the game is actually kind of talking about.
So you're stepped up to the machine now. What are you working towards? I see.
So right now I'm working on, I think I've got 2 locks lit. No, I just finished up a lock. So I just finished up Black Suit Multi-Ball. And I'm trying to relight my locks. So you can see I'm just bashing that. There's my lock lit. Lock's lit. And the nice thing about locks in this game, I want to say you can backhand both of them on this machine. So the locks are actually a fairly safe shot.
So your locks are lit by hitting the target just below the left ramp.
Yes, just below left 2 left ramps.
And then you can hit either orbit, which are your outer 2 shots, to lock a ball.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. The other thing you can do, other strategy, is to go for Doc Ock, which is your 2-ball multi-ball.
Yes. So Doc Ock is the shot right there next to the
with the big
large magnet
yes.
in front of it.
Now, on our machine, I don't know if anyone else's Spider-Man is the same. If you fronthand that lock, 9 times out of 10, it'll reject. So really, it's a lot safer to backhand that shot. Now, depending on your game and how open it is, you may or may not be able to backhand it.
So
Timothy Street walking up to bat, wiggling his arms as usual. You can tell he's definitely feeling the heat. I want to say he puts up close to 100 million on this game. but really, really knows what he's talking about. This is one of his favorite games. He owned one for probably better part of 6, 7 years.
Yeah, he can step up to this kind of game, and he can make a single ball last for half an hour.
Oh yeah, it's definitely when he picks Spider-Man, everyone groans.
So, what are the modes? Let's see what his strategy is.
So let's see. He looks like he's going for Ock right off the bat. He's got
Yes.
Lend Me a Hand, which is your first 2-ball lit, and he's doing a nice catch, and he bangs it right into there.
So that was a nice job of bouncing the ball over from the right
Really
flipper
nice
to the
job.
left flipper to be able to make that shot.
Oh, absolutely.
This is a Steve Ritchie game, and as we were discussing earlier, the ball tends to return to the flippers, and you have to be good with your on-the-fly shooting. Well,
Oh, absolutely.
he made the decision to
And
bounce the ball over.
And if you watch really closely there, he actually purposely drained the ball in order to get it back up into the pops while he had ball save lit. And it's a very common, Timmy Street strategy. Reusing things like ball save and things like that to his advantage, where he kind of, I wouldn't say cheats the rules, but definitely takes the game's code and makes it to his...
Takes advantage of it.
Absolutely takes advantage of it.
So, what is the point then of getting the ball back into the pop bumpers? Is it just to...
Well, it's a little bit safer. 2, it would give you a little bit more points in the pop bumpers. And 3, it kind of gets it out of the way, just so he doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, so that is one thing that I notice a lot about my game is that, especially in multi-ball, I tend to get impatient. When you have 2 balls in the playfield and you have maybe one that's up in the pop bumpers or is kind of bouncing around, take the time to make sure that you get both balls under control before you make that next shot. Because if you don't, then you're having to make twice the decisions that you otherwise would have.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, really, if you get overwhelmed in multi-ball, your eyes aren't going to be on the DMD. They're not going to be on the upper playfield. They're going to be right at the flippers trying to prevent you from draining.
Right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So Tim is in Doc Ock multi-ball.
Yes.
And how do you add a ball in this game?
So an add a ball is going to be, see how he's holding up his upper right flipper? Behind that flipper is what's called spider sense. And if you can smack the ball through that little hole, you get an add a ball.
Just like that.
He just did. Collect spider sense, Lend Me a Hand bonus plus add a ball. So,
And with that, you get an extended ball saver.
yep. And I want to say he also just threw it into black suit, which is kind of a nice. So he's up to like 4 or 5 balls on there, because you can still activate black suit while in Doc Ock.
Now, some would say, including Chris Warren, would say that was an incorrect strategy because you're basically limiting the amount of multi-balls that you have because now, once he's finished with his black suit, he basically has to start all over. Whereas he could have used his Doc Ock multi-ball to work towards a black suit and not start it, so that as soon as he drains out of his multi-ball, he would have the opportunity to go directly into another multi-ball.
Yeah, I agree with that to an extent, but at the same time, when you're in the middle of a game like that, you really have to make those decisions thinking of, well, I've got to play this ball like I'm going to have 2 house balls. You pretty much have to go in any league game saying, I may not get 2 more balls even though this is ball 1. Because you might not.
That's a good point.
Absolutely. So you kind of have to take
So you have to
advantage
take
of
the
this.
points
Take the points as
when
they
you
are.
can get them.
Yeah, take the points so you can get them. Now, as you see, he's trying to get back into his next Doc Ock mode. I wouldn't say he's doing a very good job of that right now. But he's just trying to. He's got extra ball lit, which is lit for points, which is going to give him, I think, about 6 million.
So he's able to start the next mode.
No, he just got.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's just lit, yeah. And he's going to try and relight his locks.
It is a backhandable shot, but it is tight. It's a tight
It's a
shot.
very tight shot. So he just started his second Ock, which is, I think, Oscorp outing. So I know the third is Battle at the Bridge.
What is the point of this mode?
It's just, well, the ball stays stuck on the magnet until you hit it. Once you hit it, I think it goes into 3-ball. Kind of a cool use of the magnet. Very much like Star Trek. Another fantastic Ritchie design. Star Trek and Spider-Man are actually very similar games.
Yes, they are.
Honestly, I kind of prefer Star Trek just because there's a little more flow to it. It's less of a weird Lawler design than most. Or almost like High Speed, I guess, really, if you really wanted to compare them.
I prefer it mostly because of the theme.
I'm sure Alex Huffman is a very big Star Trek fan.
So it looks like he's in multi-ball here. This is a game where you sort of have to chip away at points.
Absolutely.
You're not going to get any huge jackpots.
And really, you're
in
not
this
going to get any
game.
points unless you're starting modes. And honestly, it's kind of like Walking Dead, where unless you're trying to actively start a mode, you're not going to start a mode.
Yeah, so you start a mode by hitting the white lit spiders on the playfield, correct?
Yes, the white list spider. And it's kind of those things where there's so many shots in the playfield, you can go, if you're not gaming for it, you can go an entire game without starting a single mode.
But that's not ideal because you're really leaving a lot of points on the table if you
Oh,
do
absolutely
that.
you are. It's not ideal. Just if you're not really looking to start modes, you can go an entire game without accidentally starting a mode. It's hard to start modes on accident in Spider-Man.
So it looks like he's maybe trying to start Venom. He's in Venom.
He's in Venom right now, but it looks like he's trying to finish up his Goblin. So he's in Goblin.
So the Goblin mode on the left side of the playfield, you can see those
Those
flashing
roving
lights.
green shots. Yep.
And every time that you hit one of those shots, it's worth 750,000 points.
Yep.
But that's a pretty dangerous way to play the game.
Very dangerous. I usually try to just let that mode happen by accident.
Yeah, either that or you can purposely stack that with a multi-ball.
Oh,
Is
absolutely.
what I like to
That's
try
what
to
he just
do.
did. So he's in full black suit right now. I think it's black suit number 2 for him. So it took him 2 shots in the lock shot, which is a very dangerous shot.
So why? So
start.
whereas the black suit jackpots are worth they're worth $1 million, but he could also finish out his mode at 750,000.
Oh, absolutely. And
Plus you
multi-ball
get
is
a
a
mode
perfect
bonus.
time to work on that mode. As you hit your shots, they start going faster and faster.
And the idea behind that is safety. If you're making difficult shots that are likely to drain the ball, you want to have a backup
Oh yeah, you want to do it during multi-ball.
plan
You
so that you
always
can
wanna make
control
difficult
one
shots during
ball,
multi-ball.
and in the event that you do drain, you can continue to play.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So he is out of black suit now, or is he? Oh, he had a ball in the pop bumpers. So it looks like he just finished off Sandman.
Yes. He's on his, let's see. Can't see the back of the screen there, but he should be on like a second or third Sandman if the shot's roving like that.
And there is a wizard mode. There are 2 wizard modes in the
Yep,
game.
Battle
right?
Royale and Superhero.
So Battle Royale, you have to finish all of the villains.
I think I think Battle Royale is all the villains. Superhero is all the villains plus modes. Honestly, people say it's hard. It's actually not as hard as you'd think.
Tough drain there.
Yeah, if you're on a 5-ball game and you're a good player, you can typically get to either.
But that was an excellent ball from Tim.
Oh, absolutely. 117 million really puts him in the clubhouse as far as scoring.
Yeah. So you would feel pretty comfortable around that score, similar to AC/DC with the scoring.
I'd say the scoring is very similar to AC/DC.
It's just different how you go about it. You have to, with AC/DC, you could get, a huge chunk of points off of a triple song bonus. You could get,
Yeah, your jackpots, kind of the way they work in Terminator 2 almost, and AC/DC, are really the bulk of your points in competition play.
So we have Chris Warren stepping up.
Yep. Old faithful.
Now, Chris's strategy, as I was discussing earlier, is to start one multi-ball and use that multi-ball to work towards your next multi-ball.
Absolutely. He always does that for games like Metallica. He actually owns, I want to say he owns Metallica Premium.
He does?
That's the kind of way he plays. He's very good at those games where you just have to chop a lot of wood, and the best time to chop that wood is when you have multi-ball.
See what his strategy is going to be here.
Looks like he's trying to start. He's got one lock lit. He's
Missed
trying to
a
get
dot
his
cock early.
Ock, but he's not really.
I think the first time it rejected on him.
Yeah, like I was saying, that our Ock always really rejects bad. I probably need to adjust it, but I'm just lazy. Ooh, and a nasty.
Oh, right
bounce.
off the center post.
Nasty bounce. That's in competition play. And really, they take the rubber off everything. You cannot get away with that. Ooh,
rough drain.
Nasty drain.
That was unfortunate, too, because he really showed some really good control skills there. You saw after he hit the ball off the center post in the middle that he chose to let the ball dead bounce from the right flipper to the left, which is
excellent control. He just got really screwed over by a nasty drain.
Yeah, just unfortunate. So this is David Taylor, excuse me.
Good player. Showing up for the player's ball. Nice
it looks like he's
lock
going
one.
for his
Early
black
black
suit.
suit, yeah. And the nice thing about black suit is off that upper flipper, he just tried it and failed, but you can actually hit your light lock off that upper flipper.
That was
Good
an
save.
excellent
Really
save
good
from
double danger
David
save
right there. That was a Timothy Street save there.
And that's about the tightness of the tilts we have our machine set at. You can get away with something like that, but you're going to get double danger.
Yeah.
Double danger all day.
The idea behind setting a tilt would be when you set your tilts, you want to make sure that the player can move the game.
Oh, absolutely.
but you want them to be able, you know, you don't want them to feel like they're cheating. So the idea is that you want to be able to have one good move
Oh yeah,
that will
one
give you a double
good,
danger.
what I'd consider to be, oh geez, how did you do that move? But nothing else. Don't let them get away with anything more than that. You want to be able to, get up on one leg maybe once if they're real careful about it. But
Yeah, it's a nice it's an interesting balance because too tight and it's not fun, and too loose and it's not fun.
I find on modern Stearns the sweet spot is right having the top of the plumb bob right where the ring is, just right at the very top. At least that's for what I've noticed. And then the machine's set to, I wouldn't say the highest pitch it'll go, but pretty high. So you really want a really steep game.
That was a really rough drain there from David.
It moved the entire recording setup.
But you can see how he wasn't able to get away with moving the game again, and he didn't lose a whole lot in bonus. It's a modern Stern. They tend to, maybe give 5 to 10% of your score in bonus.
Oh yeah, I mean you're not really looking at getting major points off your bonus.
That's one thing that a lot of newer players should keep in mind is what are you really losing when you tilt, and oftentimes it's not that much.
It really isn't. No.
So you're better off going for that save than you are doing nothing and letting the ball end up in the trough.
I mean, I wouldn't try that sort of thing on an '80s Bally or even a electromechanical because really those games are all about bonus.
Right.
But on a modern Stern, go for it.
So it looks like you've started another Doc Ock multi-ball.
Yeah, I'm on my first Auk actually.
Oh,
I
the
started
first
a black suit first ball.
So the idea behind this is you want to
I don't really remember what I was doing.
all the red
I
shots.
think I was trying to finish up Goblin because I had Goblin lit. So I was trying to finish up Goblin that way I'd have some good progress. But I just threw it into a black suit while I'm flipping around. Ooh, nasty return off that ramp.
Mm-hmm. So you get the extended ball save. You essentially double your opportunity to score jackpots.
Oh, absolutely. Spider-Man's kind of nice because you have the ability to start and finish your villain modes mid multi-ball. So you can, finish 2 or 3 Sandmans if you're good during a multi-ball.
Right. There's a kind of a fast drain out there. Kind of unfortunate from losing.
Oh yeah, back to
Nice
the 2 ball.
decision not to flip there.
Oh, absolutely. Honestly, half your decisions to flip are based on just don't flip.
Yeah, you'd be surprised at how much you can get away with not flipping. Another ball off the post. That's 2 back to back.
That was a nice backhand off that ramp.
So you could still, you could see the Doc Ock targets on the left there are still flashing for 750
the
apiece.
Goblin, yeah.
I'm sorry, Goblin targets, yes, on the left side. So ideally, that would be what you would want to go for in this situation because currently your jackpots are only worth 250,000.
I mean, I'm doing a decent job keeping the ball in control. As you can see, I'm doing a double cradle. But at the same time, I'm not really shooting for anything. Unfortunately, because I'm just like, keep the ball alive.
But yeah, so Bowen Cairns said in a tutorial video recently that I was watching that that's something that you want to avoid.
It absolutely is.
You
kind of
want
shooting at nothing.
Yes, so you want to, even if you are trying to make a save and get rid of the ball quickly, you still want to say, okay, in my head I was trying for this shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are not aiming, you're more likely to hit a post, you're likely to hit the side of a ramp or something, and it's just going to end up right in the drain.
Absolutely.
So you want to have that controlled mindset regardless of what you're trying to accomplish in the game. So there was an opportunity where you probably should have trapped up that ball.
I probably shouldn't have flipped on the upper flipper, and I'd still have another ball. So I drained off a bad upper flipper slip.
So, looks like this is the point where you're sort of chipping away, like, going back to this is a long playing game.
It really is.
So let's see what the strategy here is. Do you remember?
I'm trying to think. I think I've got my extra ball lit, but it's only for points. There we go. 5
So
million
extra
for the
balls,
extra
5
ball.
million points.
Yep.
Which, those add up.
They really do. I mean, especially in this kind of game, where you're playing for, you're just trying to play for more points than the other players.
Yeah, considering that your multi-ball jackpots start out at 250,000.
They're really not worth much. Really, your value in multi-ball is an extended ball save and the ability to hit your mode shots.
Right. Yeah, that's why stacking is so important in this game.
Oh yeah.
Because if you can stack in a mode and stack in one or two multi-balls, you know,
Like right now, I'm in Jack-O-Lantern. I'm not really making my shots like I should. I'm trying to go for a multi-ball.
so you can backhand. That was a really nice backhand there on that.
Yeah, our
shot.
our Spider-Man actually plays really well as far as the fact that you can backhand a lot of your shots that you usually can't.
So you'll notice in the middle of the playfield, there are 3 yellow blinking lights that he just shot right then. Um, that is a pretty dangerous shot. It's worth
Very
some
dangerous.
points. If you're in maybe a C division tournament where you know that the players more than likely are not going to be getting 100 million shots, it's not a bad strategy.
It's not, but I would not recommend it in like A division plays. It's
Right.
pretty much like shooting the saucer in AFM.
Right.
I mean, it's you don't shoot for the saucer unless you've got extra ball lid or you're trying to get your something off of it.
It's a dangerous shot, but if you need a small amount of points quickly,
Oh,
you
absolutely.
can get it. Because if you finish the Sandman,
I mean, look, it's 280, 2.8 million off the bat.
so that was an excellent comeback ball from Josh. Nice
Decent
job.
bonus.
Nice job coming back. You know,
Oh yeah, 92 is definitely not bad when you're playing against players. I definitely put the heat on Timmy. I mean, definitely put the heat on him.
so it's on Timothy at this point to try and extend his lead as much as he can, knowing that is at least one more ball ahead of him, and that he's got Josh kind of right there on his tail in terms of
Oh yeah, just the specter in the
The score.
background, haunting him.
that's what Timothy does right there. That's what Tim does best is
Weird
push
saves.
push the game in an upward motion, almost like towards the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does is that if you've got a ball going towards the out lane, it will force the ball downward so that you will hit either the top of the slingshot and be able to make that save,
It'll just give you a much stronger bounce.
or exactly. Or if you're able to hit the top of the slingshot hard enough, it will rattle out of the out lane area.
and hopefully
and
into
back
main
into the
playfield.
playfield.
Absolutely.
So that's something that he has done on numerous occasions, throughout this game and certainly throughout all the tournaments that has really
I mean, he just did it
solidified
right
his
there.
game.
I mean, he's fantastic at that technique. He's perfected it. I mean, he really knows what he's doing.
And he's been playing pinball since he could walk.
Oh, pretty much. Since he was in a walker, pretty much.
So if there is an opportunity to save the ball, he's going to know about it before it even comes down.
Very nice. He is in, I want to say, Battle Royale right now. Yep.
So essentially what he's done is completed all of the villain modes in the game.
Yep.
And he's got an opportunity to score jackpots. It's an extended ball save.
It scores a lot like Payback Time in Terminator 2. It's a
So
lot
what is
like Payback Time.
what is the goal of this multi-ball? So you can see him deliberately draining there.
Well, the reason he's deliberately draining is he's got ball save. He wants it back up top where he can just kind of keep it safe in the pop. Now, very good cradle separation hold there as far as saving that.
I like to use my ball save
He's
time
down to 2.
instead of draining to try and take those shots because you
They're
may get
dangerous,
lucky.
absolutely.
And you might hit that ramp, or you may pick up that extra 500,000 points or whatever it is.
I think the
But-
difference here is how confident he is in his shots.
Yeah.
I mean, he's someone who is confident to an extreme on his shots. He knows he can hit them. So for him, it's more like he needs
Space to do it.
Space, yeah, he just needs space.
So that was a nice technique there called
Ooh,
an over
rough
under. He ain't got bid on it, unfortunately. Kind of nothing he could do about that drain. But what he did was he flicked the ball up. He had 2 balls and 1 flipper. Flipped one of the balls up
Oh,
and
he
then
got a ball
shot the
save off
other
that,
ball
actually.
underneath.
He had an out of ball. So he's back down to 2, actually.
Kind of interesting. They had one ball go up, one out orbit, and the
Yeah,
other
he
go up the other
both
orbit.
backhanded and fronthanded that shot, which is really kind of something you can do on Spider-Man. It's just kind of the way the game is designed.
So so how do you complete this mode?
This mode isn't really completed. It's a multi-ball, so really it's infinite jackpots as long as you can keep making them. Now the scores reset. It goes all the way up from 275 all the way up to a couple mil, but then goes back down every time you complete it. So he's just going through there getting the points where they lay.
So when you make a jackpot in this mode, it essentially eliminates that shot from the ability to score jackpots.
But I want to say it adds whatever that shot's value is to the next shot.
So that was a 6.5 million point shot he just had there.
Yes, it was.
So you can see.
Excellent. Oh, it failed on him. Tried doing a nice save, but he's got into his next Ock mode, which I want to say is Battle at the Bridge.
See, that's the way you should play this game. Is as soon as he drained out a multi-ball,
Straight into his next one.
straight into the next
Absolutely.
one.
It's all about keeping that momentum and playing smart so you can have that momentum available so you're not just chopping wood right after a multi-ball.
So while he's making jackpots here, ideally you'd like to hit your mode target, which he did just right there.
Yep.
His lock target, rather. So now he can shoot an orbit shot,
Hopefully
and that'd be
get
one
the
one less dangerous shot that he has to take.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if I consider the orbit shots.
No,
really
well, not dangerous, but anything is dangerous. in
Well,
pinball.
yeah, absolutely.
That's what's so great about pinball is that it's a physical game,
Absolutely.
and if you miss a shot in Call of Duty or whatever,
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's all about your reflex. If you miss a shot in pinball, it may or may not be your fault.
right.
There's
That's
definitely a
true. I
level
mean, yeah,
of
you can.
culpability there.
I mean, you could hit.
It's not a game where, some memorization's involved, but it's not like memorizing patterns like in any like Defender or something.
And a really good example of this is Tim and I were playing Funhouse in the state championships last year.
Okay.
And, both of us had sort of a crummy first and second ball. So we're on the third ball. I think both of us have somewhere around 3.5, 4 million points. Pretty close. Well, I finished my ball. I think I ended the game with 4.5, 1.7 million. So it wasn't great. Easily he could have come back and got it. Well, he makes a shot on the center ramp in Funhouse, and the ball comes around and hops off of the ramp
Jeez.
and into the out lane, and there was absolutely nothing that he could do about it.
Yeah. It's just, it happens. Especially in games like Funhouse.
But that's what makes pinball so great is that you never play the same game twice. You never know what's going to happen.
Oh, absolutely. For me, part of the appeal of pinball is not even the fantastic gameplay, but it's also the art, the history. There's definitely a lot to the hobby and definitely the business of it.
Yeah, I feel like there's something for everybody.
Absolutely. There's competition play.
If you're competitive, you can play. If you are a tinkerer, you can
absolutely.
find and restore games from
absolutely.
all the way back into the 30s, really.
Oh, yeah. There's always fine art to appreciate with this classic Valley art style.
Yes. Wonderful art. You have guys like Paul Ferris.
Where every room's a freezer.
What?
Fantastic art.
Christian March.
Christian March, yeah. Christian Ferris, the Paul Ferris.
Paul Ferris, yeah. One of my favorites.
Yeah. I think it was Christian Anderson. Or maybe he wrote The Silver Skates. Never mind. Anyway, definitely lots of great pinball artists.
That's really
UC.
That's the main selling point of this particular game, actually, is that the original version of this game was painted with art from the movie.
And it wasn't horrible looking.
It wasn't
But
great.
it definitely
but it wasn't
was
bad.
not great.
Yeah. So when they came out with what's called the Vault Edition, which is essentially the same game with redone art, they chose to go with the Marvel
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ultimate Spider-Man art, which is
It's definitely a
much
step
better.
up.
It's definitely a step
Now, I
up.
do miss the call-outs. What's his name? Oh, Bad Drain.
Yeah, right down the center there. It's
But
rough.
what's his name who plays J. Jonah Jameson? He's also in Whiplash. I'm trying to remember the name of that actor. But his call-outs, he actually did all the custom voice call-outs for the whole game.
Those are the types of things that will really, for me, send a game over the top.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he would. And if you're a really big fan of that actor, it's kind of like him screaming at you the whole time, and it's fantastic.
Like, for example, when Stern decided to put Carl Urban from the Star Trek movies
Oh, absolutely.
into the new Star Trek
and he
game.
really knocked it out of the park with all that custom voice.
Yeah. Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not a pinball wizard.
That's
pretty great.
Excellent quote from him. Oh, yeah, he's like, Parker, get in my office.
So here we go. Chris stepping up here again.
Backhanding that shot, and he has his multi-ball ready. So if he can make that shot again, he's ready for lend me a hand.
And so even though Chris is in last place here, it is not unreasonable to think, that any of these guys could come back, have just a marathon ball.
Oh, it's A division, so really anything can happen, and it will happen. Just kind of the way it works, unfortunately.
And this is a really long playing game compared to a lot of games.
I really need to put lightning flippers on it.
Yeah. And lightning flippers are an eighth of an inch shorter than your traditional flipper. And it
Originally
doesn't
designed
sound like
for
much,
European
but
distributors by Bally Williams back in the early 90s. The first game they appeared on, I want to say, is
Fishtails. Yeah, I think you're right.
But Doctor Who also has lightning flippers. Bram Stoker's Dracula has it. Bram Stoker's Dracula has it. A lot of really
There was an
hard
attempt there
games.
at an over-under, like we saw Tim do earlier.
Yes, but it was completely botched.
Yes, that was not a good one, but that is an excellent skill for you to learn. If you are a new player, if that's something that you can practice. If you have a game at home, take the glass off and practice flipping one ball up and taking a shot underneath it, because you're able to control that ball again. The ball that you flicked up will come resting right back down.
Oh,
the
absolutely.
flipper.
I mean, in my opinion, it's a extension of learning your cradle separations.
Right.
Absolutely.
And if you flick it hard enough, the idea is that it will go up, come back down, tip off the ball, the other ball, the lower ball, and then go over to the other flipper so that you have one ball on each flipper.
Very true.
So let's see. So I think that right there is a perfect example of a cradle separation.
Oh,
Exactly
absolutely.
what we were just talking about.
I mean, it's a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off for him. And he's actually got his spider sense. It was only big points this time instead of an added ball, because I think he already cashed in his first added ball.
So he started
Gets a good jackpot, and it comes out mean.
nothing he could have done about that.
Nothing at all. I mean, nothing.
So let's see what he does here.
He's got a Sandman lit. It's only his first Sandman.
He's having some trouble with that Doc Ock shot, which is really one that you have to dial in if you want to have
You
success
really
in this
have
game.
to dial that one in.
And it's tight. I mean, it's from either flipper. You can see again.
It's a lot easier to backhand it, but it's a lot tighter to backhand it. So it's really one of those things where you can hit it on perfect, but the more power it has coming off your main flipper, the more likely it's going to reject.
That was just an unfortunate,
Well, he's
rejection there.
oh, absolutely.
You just say again, this is a point in the game. So sometimes it will count the shot when you hit the magnet, and then other times you have to shoot it all the way back.
Well,
in
there's
the back
two
of Doc Ock.
switches there. There's one which registers the opto in front of the magnet. That's what's used for whenever the octopus is down. Whenever the octopus is up, however, it's your shots are counted by the scoop switch. So there's a switch inside the scoop which counts that.
So basically, what that means is that you have to get the ball
All the way
way
in there.
back like
Just
that,
like you just did.
and get it to rest down underneath the playfield in what's known as a scoop.
Well, it's actually I don't even think it's underneath the playfield. I think it's just a small indent.
Oh.
So there's no subways or anything. It'd be cool if they decided to do that, but unfortunately they did not.
Another power drain out the left out lane. We've seen that a couple times in this game. Seems to be particularly gnarly.
It's me.
So here's David stepping up for his third ball, and now I think at the point where you're really gonna have to come up with something big, in terms of points.
It's
You're
ball
gonna have
three.
to.
You're down to the wire. He's going into his black suit. So let's see how he plays that out.
I mean, just from a mental standpoint, if you're coming into this game, and you're 100 million points down, you're thinking, I'm about to have a 20-minute ball just to catch up.
I wouldn't exactly say 20 minutes, but you're definitely going to have to be having a long one.
Just to have the opportunity to get close to the
you're
other
gonna have
players.
to play just, I wouldn't say perfectly, but you're not going to want to screw around.
And that's not to say that David can't do it. He certainly could.
No, David's an absolutely fantastic player, and he really knows how to knock it out of the park.
David surprises me a lot of times. Like, he will, he'll do things that are, what's the word? He just goes about his business on the game. Like, he's not going to wow you a lot of the times with, like, ridiculous flipper skills.
But a lot of the time, he's consistent.
But he's very consistent.
He's a very consistent player.
That's the perfect word for it.
I'd say this evening, it takes him a few games to get warmed up, honestly, because his nerves get to him. But once he gets in a roll, I mean, I think he really knows how to play once he gets in the pattern of play.
He's good, yeah, and he's very rhythmic. You can tell when he's in the zone. He's he's just doing his thing. He's catching the ball, but he's not waiting around. He's not thinking about it too much.
Yeah.
He'll catch the ball, let it stop, and make his shot. Catch the ball, let it stop, and make a shot. So you can kind of see now where he's in this multi-ball for a little bit. He's got that rhythm. He's got one up, one down.
Oh yeah, he definitely plays pinball like Stuart Copeland plays drums. I mean, he just knows what he's doing.
That was an unfortunate sling drain there.
Oh, yeah.
Out the left out lane again, which seems to be particularly brutal today.
That left out lane's just eating balls up. It's a gobbler. Man.
So David's back to the grind essentially at this point where you're working towards that next multi-ball. Oh, he's already started it. See?
Yep. And he's a very, like I said, very steady, very consistent player.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And he's got games at home.
He does. So, he has quite a nice collection. He has a Dirty Harry, a Dragon. He has an odd collection. He has a Hoops. Nice rare Gottlieb from the early 90s.
And he's got a couple of high scores, I think, on... That was a
nasty tilt.
Yeah. But...
A deserved one.
Yeah, sure. I mean, at that point, you might as well, because if you happen to save the ball, you can continue to play.
Take your frustration out somewhere.
Well, that too. And if you do happen to save the ball, you can continue, and if you happen to lose it, doesn't matter because you're already in, last place.
Absolutely. As you can see, I'm waiting a second to get back on there because he really shook that game up. Kind of like that one Elvis song.
But now is the point where you would expect David to just come storming back,
Oh,
That's just the way that he is. Like, once he, I feel like during that multi-ball, he kind of found his groove.
Oh, absolutely. I think this is the game, honestly, speaking overall, where he honestly got his groove. He definitely got his groove back, as they say.
So, the reason for the dead time here is that after a tilt, you have to give the plumb bob in the game time to settle.
Oh yeah, it's
stop.
Swinging around.
Otherwise, you'll get unnecessary dangers. That happened to me a couple of times.
Oh, you can get tilts off it. I mean, it can happen. So you definitely want to play carefully. I'm trying to think what I'm going for right now. I've got my Venom lit.
So that was a shot at the lock shot at the light lock. I'm sorry, light lock.
I don't know why I'm trying to do that.
It's really dangerous, but it actually almost worked out there.
I'm trying to think if I do it. Definitely dangerous. I'm going for it again. Playing it safe. Need 2 more shots to it. Working my lanes.
That, to me, is the most dangerous shot in the game, is that light lock target.
Yeah, I'd say it rejects really weird.
Because it's so small.
It's small and angled.
It's unpredictable.
Oh, it's very unpredictable.
So
very
when
nice
you hit it, you have no idea where that ball's going to go. That's why I like to start with Doc Ock and use my Doc Ocks to work towards my black suit, which is lit by that target.
As you can see, I'm going for my Ock.
Nice backhand there.
Thank you.
Let's see, so.
Very good ball control on my part.
Yep.
Definitely getting into the groove of knowing what to do on this game. It's one of those things where you don't really know how a Spider-Man's going to be treating you until you're on ball 3.
Right. That's one of my problems. This is not a game that...
Ooh,
nice
very good
decision
bounce
there.
off that. As you can see, I bumped the machine forward in order to give it more momentum.
Right.
And my locks are lit for ball 3. Sorry, lock number 3. Oh,
another
nice one.
That was a great sequence
Thank
there. Right off
As
of
you can
the
see,
center
I'm
post.
doing the whole arm flippy flap thing. Definitely
Sometimes you just got to get the bugs out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Get ready for your multi-ball.
I'm cracking jokes. See, I'm one of those kind of players that likes to talk and crack jokes while I'm playing.
Yeah, me too.
It just loosens me up.
And it bothers a lot of other people.
Oh, absolutely. For example, we have a player by the name of Brendan Turner, who is the leader of the Pindigo group.
Yes.
Not to be confused with the Crime Syndicate.
Yes, we want to give a big... so Pindigo...
Pindigo is an absolutely fantastic pinball app that has been recently not sponsored, but featured by Marco Specialties. It's a pinball social app where you kind of take pictures of your scores and share them with people, have them ranked locally. Really well put together, really fantastic to use.
Yeah, it's a score tracking app. So we want to give it just the biggest shout out that we can.
Oh, absolutely.
Encourage everybody to use it.
I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, I'd say I'd like to see machine tracking on there, some sort of pinball map integration. There's no real-time service for finding people to play games with, like Pinder or something like that.
But we got to give a huge
Oh,
pat on the
absolutely.
back to Brendan, who is the main coder for
Oh,
that
I mean,
game.
his code base is solid.
And he adds, it seems like he adds a new feature
every
week.
day. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He spends actually a solid day out of his week.
And I think
working on it
they're
every week.
about to release another beta version
From what
3.
I've seen of that beta, it's very smooth. I mean, it's like butter. Excellent dock.
So the app allows you to record your scores on particular games. It allows you to,
and it makes you take a picture of it in order to keep you honest on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to take a picture of it, and everyone can see that picture. And sometimes it is potato quality, but still, it's there.
you could share it on social media. You can share it with people within the app. It'll link to your Pinside profile.
It will. I mean,
which
it's full of features. Brendan, he really knocked it out of the park with that one.
But apparently he doesn't like people joking around.
No, he hates it when people talk during his games or joke around. He likes to be very serious about his pinball games.
Yeah, but he expects a lot out of his game.
Oh, he does. He's very much a perfectionist when it comes to his game.
And he should.
And
He should.
yeah, and he can pull it off. He can definitely. That's his play style.
Nice separation there.
Thank you.
Brendan is a really good guy. He's
Really
a
good guy,
player.
really good player.
player.
Knows what he's doing.
Very sneaky player too. Like he'll come back and he'll just you never see it coming from him really.
Absolutely. And as you can see, I'm ready to start my battle royale. That's battle royale. As you can see, I'm jamming with the music on there.
So what is your score here in terms of where Tim is? Because Tim's at 236.
I want to say about like 1-something.
145. So
One something.
still a lot of chopping to be done.
Honestly, yeah. I mean,
for
one
first
of those
place.
games where once you get late game, I consider this late game, where you're already getting to like your mini wizards and your wizards, you really are. Points are hard to come by.
But you have to kind of think of it. That was a triple drain there,
It
but
was,
you have
but
your
I had
ball
ball
save.
save, so I'll get those all back up in the pops.
And you can tell a ball is going to be saved by, in between the flippers, there's a flashing light.
Mm-hmm.
If that light is flashing, you're going to get those balls back.
Oh yes, unless it's flashing very quickly and then it may be gone by the time it gets down there and registers to the trough switch.
But what I was saying is, you have to keep it in perspective for the whole event. So this is a 5-game final.
Oh yes.
So being in second place is really pretty good because you have 4 points for first place,
Mm-hmm.
and then second place
Actually, it's
gets
3. 3. It's just
3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so 3 points for first place, second place 2,
Yeah.
and then if you come in last, you don't get any points.
No, you get 0 points. And it really is unfortunate because, even 1 point, third place is better than fourth place. You do not want to be in fourth place in this sort of scoring.
So you just have to. You have to keep in mind that even if you're having a bad game, it still behooves you to do the best that you can. Because if you can
Absolutely.
pass another player, that may be the difference in a really close 5-game match. That 1 point.
Oh yeah, I mean, it really just does take some time.
So at this point, back to the grind. You got to find another multi-ball. It's going to be more difficult to start your black
Much
suits.
more difficult.
Because every time you start a black suit multi-ball, it gets more difficult. You have to hit the light lock target.
Yeah, I think it's like 8 awks in order to get your next awk multi-ball. It's definitely 3+ shots to each lock to light it. And that's a dangerous shot.
So it's getting pretty tough.
I would definitely say it is slim pickings, as they say.
But you still have...
Decent ball control.
you could still chop away. Now I think is... you're at the point where it may not be a bad idea to start going for those goblin targets on the left side because they're worth 1,000,000 points apiece.
They really are.
There's a pretty good chance. I mean, you could come back, but you still have a lot of chopping wood to do. You're really trying to put separation at this point between you and third and fourth place.
Absolutely.
But you're already locked into no worse than third, which is,
Very good.
which is good. That means you're already going to get a point.
Nice.
Oh,
Very
that's a
dangerous.
nice
I
save.
saved it.
Yep. Pretty rough. It's almost like that AC/DC ramp where if you miss it, it's coming right back
there
at
we
you.
go. And it's gone. I'm just like, 173. I'll take it.
Yeah. So, you can kind of tell when somebody's getting fatigued on a ball
Mm-hmm.
because it's difficult to sit up there and concentrate on one ball for 10 minutes at a time.
Absolutely. Easy to see Timmy and I are just kind of congratulate each other.
You have to. Sometimes you have to step back and take a break.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you're trying to make a shot. Like if you're trying to make a shot over and over again, you're probably going to miss it badly and drain. Whereas if you say, "Hey, I'm missing the shot consistently. Let me swap over to something else."
So, Tim is sitting pretty comfortably now.
Oh, absolutely. I'd say he's to the point where he's just like Chris could catch him.
So
But as you can see, he did not stress. He did
even
not
though
try
he
to tilt
didn't, yeah, even though he drained there, he's not that concerned about it.
Oh,
because
he's showing, yeah, I got 240 million.
Chris is gonna have. I mean, not that Chris couldn't do it, but he's gonna have to come back and get more than almost 10 times his score, which is
Not easy on Spider-Man.
not an easy thing to do. Exactly. Let's see. And he doesn't have anything lit. He's just sort of in no man's land, and this game will do that to you if you don't play it the right way and set up yourself for the next multi-ball. Oh, I'm sorry, he did. He had black suit multi-ball lit. So he's going to start black suit here.
And he's probably going to play it very safely.
Yeah, there's no reason, to do anything crazy here. It's just chipping away. So you probably see him take shots at Doc Ock, and Chris is using his ball save time sort of the way that I would, just to flip those balls away, in hope that was a nice bounce.
Very nice bounce.
In hopes that you can collect a jackpot or two while you don't have to control. See, now that the ball save is off, he's taking the opportunity to work with one ball at a time. There was an attempt at a cradle separation there. There was a nice little flick. So what he's doing, he's just getting penny points.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, he's not really. I mean, they're okay.
You're not gonna get any game-winning shots on a multi-ball like this.
I mean, you're not unless you're just kind of like what he's doing. If he can consistently do that and not miss a single shot, he might be able to do that just by getting million here, million there. But it's highly unlikely, especially with you saw that drain was. Spider-Man will just give you real nasty drains like that, where you think it's gonna bounce. Nope, not bouncing.
He's showing some really good multi-ball control here. He lost that ball off the post there, but it wasn't necessarily his fault. So there was a great example of a cradle separation, where you separate the ball so you can make a shot and still have control over one. And this is one thing that Chris is really good at, is being aware. As you can see where he just completed the lanes down at the bottom, you can see the in lanes and the out lanes have 4 lights on top of them. As that ball,
He's very good at working his lanes.
As that ball was coming through the in lane, he made the conscious decision to flip,
Yeah.
which changed the lanes and gave it's a little bit of points. But on a game like this, those little bit of points add up.
Oh yeah, and a lot of times those lanes actually will control stuff like 2x, 3x bonus. I know in games like Medieval Madness, you're dealing with lighting video mode, which is actually very seldom gotten in that game.
So Chris is out here. Tim's going to win the game at 240. Josh comes in at 205. So after 2 games, Chris has 2 points. Tim is sitting nicely with 5 points, and he is tied, actually, with Josh at 5 points, and David, through 2 games, has no points.
So we're looking at 5-5-0. What's that again?
It is 5-5-2-0.
5-5-2-0. Interesting. It's still anyone's game. Anyone's game. I mean, really, it's anyone's game at this point.
So, what are we playing now?
This is a Attack from Mars.
This is actually the remake version of Attack from Mars. Early tilt from David.
Also have the tilts that are tight. And those Bally Williams tilts like the swing.
But I can understand his frustration at this point.
Oh yeah, I mean I very much feel like the man of tech support. I understand his frustration.
He he expects a lot out of his game, as he should. Again, he's a great player. He's just had a few unfortunate bounces. It's still early though. There's still an opportunity for him to come back, considering that this is a 5-game final and another very quick drain from Josh.
Yep.
So what is your main strategy on Attack from Mars?
So Attack from Mars, I like to go for my super skill to knock down my saucer, get that lit, and then honestly, I should probably go for either multi-ball off the multi-ball shot or total nuclear. Not total nuclear. I'm sorry, total annihilation.
Total annihilation. So the main disc you see in the middle of the playfield is your saucer.
Yeah. Attack from Mars is actually kind of a simple game. You've got each one of your fan shots. 3 shots to those will light it for a hurry up. It'll also, if you light all of those, you get what's called total annihilation, which is kind of like payback time. But the cool thing is on that one, each shot you make builds up your jackpot. Your main jackpot's achieved off your lock shot.
Another quick drain.
Very quick drain. Your second strategy is to go for your actual lock shot. 3 locks get you a multi-ball.
The lock shot, if you see those 3 blinking lights underneath the saucer, is immediately to the left of that. You hit that, it'll go around 1 time, and then it'll open your
On
lock.
the first one.
Same shot.
Second multi-ball, you take 1 shot per lock in order to light your lock.
So here's Tim stepping up. It's a really good opportunity for Tim here on the first ball because the first 2 players really didn't get a whole lot going. You can see Tim open the saucer, and a rough drain again.
It's not treating us nicely.
No. So, first 3 players, nothing really going on. Now, if you're Chris, you're really thinking, okay, here's a shot for me to get out, get a good ball in.
Good early lead.
Right.
Very good early lead.
Take a good early lead. You can see that he started his attack wave, which essentially means that there's a bar in front of the saucer. It'll lower the bar and allow you to make shots at the saucer. When you do that, you get points for making damage to the alien ship, and then you also get big points when you destroy the ship starting at 200 million.
Yes. Attack from Mars is also kind of an interesting game because there's lots of extra ball scoring opportunities.
A lot of side-to-side action there
You can
for
score,
Chris.
I think, if you're going for all of them, I think you can score like 4 or 5 extra balls just through gameplay.
Through the saucer?
Well, there's 2 saucers downlights extra ball. You can get one off mystery. You can get one off video mode. You can get one, I think, off. There's some other way you can get it.
Nice save there
Lanes.
from David.
I want to say 10 sets of lanes gives you extra balls as well.
Really good decision there not to flip from David.
Very
Make a
good
controlled
decision.
shot.
That dead bounce is beautiful.
That's how I was playing it. I think he was playing it how I was playing it earlier, where you just let the ball come out of that saucer right next to the right of the flying saucer, just like that, and let it bounce over to the right and
Nice
let you
lock
make shots.
shot.
So now his locks are lit.
Ooh, nasty.
Another
Nasty
tilt. You can see he's frustrated, and rightfully so.
Oh, absolutely.
So Josh will probably give that a couple seconds to let the tilt bob calm down. But this early in the game, it's still okay, I think, for him to do that. Because,
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of happens. And as you can see, I went for my super skill, botched it again, timed out.
So now you have to open the saucer the
Man.
old-fashioned way, which is to complete the 3 light bank in front.
And I get my lock off my mystery. So
That's kinda
a
nice.
dead bounce.
So that was a shot towards the lock there that was
Dangerous
missed.
shot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tight shot there next to the lock.
As you can see, I just keep trying to go
Next to the
for it.
saucer.
Which is not a good idea.
Yeah, you have to find very early on what works for you in this game, because some people are able to take the bounce off of the saucer, off the main saucer, and some people are able to make the lock shot, and you have to figure out which one is suiting your game at that particular time.
Ooh, nasty drain.
Rough drain. You have to find which one is suiting your game, because if you don't, you're gonna get left behind by people who do.
Oh yeah,
It's a very
just-
high scoring game.
It's a very high scoring game. Very much a game where if you haven't had any, you don't set up your shots, you cannot do any scoring.
And it really rewards you for the more you progress, the more you get rewarded. So
Absolutely, it's very much a logarithmic scale.
So you can increase your jackpots. You can start totally annihilation multi-ball by hitting all the main shots 3 times. So there's a lot of opportunities for people who are able to keep the ball in play for longer.
And actually, I think during your second tractor beam with your Easter egg, where if you hit your launch ball button a whole bunch of times, it'll go,
I didn't know that.
and it'll turn your flying saucers in video mode to house.
So you can see Tim just quickly lock 2 balls. So one more shot to that shot right there to the left of the main saucer, and he'll start his multi-ball.
Nasty reject off that ramp. See that? Is that one right there?
Nice.
Where-
Oh, nice
where you,
little.
where you see that cow? That's where you hit the button. It's very similar to No Fears Easter egg, where if you hold down the extra ball button during your skydive shot, it'll double your points and give you some Mortal Kombat 3 hits.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
So Tim's not too happy with that, but he's set
No.
up. I mean, considering
he's got his locks lit, he's good to go.
considering where everybody currently is right now in this game, he's got an opportunity to start his multi-ball as soon as he walks up to the game.
if he can play his cards
ball.
right. Absolutely.
So we'll see what Chris is able to do. It looks like, not sure, he's ramping out for some reason. I'm not sure if he's going for the locks or if he's going for total annihilation.
Maybe both.
Chris has this game at home, so he knows this game inside and out. But this particular
It's a
remake
so it plays
version,
completely different than the original. This is an original Bally Williams. Now, do keep in mind this has an OS play field and it's all chromed out, but still, it's going to play different than that remake.
and on this particular one, the flippers are quite steep, so your shots are a lot earlier than they
They're
normally
quite
would
steep,
be.
and I have the coil settings set to max power. So it's going to be slapping those balls as hard as it physically can.
It's a fast game. It's a fun game. This is if you start asking pinball players about what are the greatest games of all time, this one is
It gets
always
thrown
going to be in the
around.
top 5.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely in my opinion, as far as all time, top 3.
And this is a somewhat of a rare title. This was made at the late 90s when pinball.
Early, it's mid 90s.
It was 98, wasn't it?
No, this one I want to say is 95.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
let me
maybe not.
Let me consult the audience. Real quick.
But there really aren't a whole lot of them out there.
No, they didn't have a lot of production on them.
Pinball just wasn't selling quite like it was in
No,
the early
no.
90s when you had your heyday.
No, I mean it's a golden age machine, but production was ramping down. 1995.
Oh, okay. I thought it was later than that. That's good to know. Ah, yeah, bad bounce there for Chris. I mean, he knew better. He's not going to be happy with that one. So here is really David's last shot at doing well in this game. Let's see if he is able to make a comeback. You know, and the way the scores are now, and the way the game is
Anyone's
playing.
game at ball 3.
Yeah, I mean, if you catch a good run here, a
Nice.
decent
Awarded him
score
a
on
nice
this
lock
game.
off his mystery. Honestly, I think the key to attack from Mars rarity, they only made about 3,500 units.
So if you're playing an A Division League final, what would be a comfortable score for you?
Oh, 3-0.
Yeah, I would say
No, sorry, 3 bill. Sorry,
3 billion points.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say
I would be very comfortable. Well, it
three,
depends.
3.5 billion. It depends.
It
really.
depends on who I'm playing and how the machine's playing. Because you can set this machine up to a billion.
Nice save there from David.
Very nice
But he
save.
had that
And it throws him
opportunity.
straight into the multi-ball, which is very similar to the one from Independence Day.
That was one thing that I really liked that I saw there from David was that he bounced the ball over to make that shot.
Made a very clean shot.
Instead of just shooting the ball wildly like a lot of other players would have done. So what you want to do on this multi-ball is all of your major shots are lit for jackpots, and when you complete all of those, you'll have a roving super jackpot that will start out on the left orbit
Goes
and
right.
work its
But
way.
the nice thing about that super, sorry to interrupt,
No, you're fine.
the very nice thing about that super is that even if you drain down to one ball, you have a 20-second grace period in which you can still collect that super,
Yes.
and it will still keep roving until it actually returns to the far left shot, so you get a full sweep.
And if you do that, instead of your jackpots being 50 million a shot, they go up to 100 million a shot, and
For
they'll
round
stay
2.
that way for the rest of the game.
They stay high.
And every time you collect that super jackpot, it goes up. So you see David finishes up there with, it looks like just under a billion.
Bill point 3. Yeah.
So 1 point, yeah.
So here I'm up.
So, considering the other scores, is not terrible.
And as you can see, there's our host with the most doing subtle adjustments to the screen.
So at least that way we can see, the major part of the score. For those of you who are in the Magic City Pinball League, I am currently buying some things off of Amazon to help the production go a lot smoother,
Oh, absolutely.
better. I don't want to bore you with the details, but next season, setup takedown should be much quicker.
Oh yeah, I mean we're going from looking at a Price is Right style setup all the way to a Family Feud.
Yes, this is going to be much better next.
Steve Harvey's in the house.
This is the first season we've started streaming. I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, I think it's fantastic, especially for the players, for the location. It's excellent promotion. I want to say BumperNets actually uses these videos for better or for worse for official promotion on the page.
Wonderful. So, the whole idea behind it is not to, make anybody nervous or to.
Oh yeah, it's there to just help improve everyone's game and to have fun with it and have a record. Nice.
Nice start.
As you can see, I was very excited to start that multi-ball.
On the fly shot from Josh to start his multi-ball. Let's see what he can do here.
I love making on the fly shots like that. For me, that's the epitome of pinball. Making an on the fly shot that throws you right into multi-ball.
This is a good thing too, because that next shot went right into the drain.
I know, right? Well, it's it's like what they always say. Pinball's a lot like rats. Pinballs are a lot like rats. They live in the drain.
I have never heard that, but that's pretty funny.
It's okay.
So, let's see. Working his way towards getting his jackpots.
Double drain.
Wow. Nice
Real
save,
bad
though.
double drain.
Yeah. Way to not get distracted there.
Triple drain.
Unfortunate. But
Happens.
that was a good job
Pinball.
not getting distracted by the double drain and missing. Of course,
Happens.
So, let's see. Finished up with...
It's kind of interesting because actually from the reflection of the D&D, you can kind of see where everyone's sitting.
Yeah.
And just kind of hanging out.
794, which
Not bad, not good.
is not bad.
But very easily passable unless someone has an absolutely horrible ball.
So let's see what
Which is definitely
Tim's got.
possible. For example,
Wow. Okay, he got that one back.
well, return to battle, soldier.
Yep.
Let's
See, a lot of newer players would have flipped that ball away, and it doesn't take that much momentum to be able to bounce it from one flipper to the other to make a controlled shot.
And also, I want to say every third mystery is strobe multi-ball. Strobe multi-ball, as I was saying earlier with extra balls, is the other way to earn an extra ball. 10 shots up to the center. But the thing is, the general elimination turns off. Nasty drain.
Yeah, Tim is not happy with that.
Bonus? Does he get me on bonus? No, he's not.
Yeah, so Tim is automatically locked into
Fourth place.
third place.
Well, third place technically, but I'm pretty sure Chris is going to beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chris.
strobe multi-ball turns off all the general illumination. It just turns on all the flashers strobing.
Yeah, I wish we got that on film because that really is a cool mode.
Well, it's cooler in the dark. It's not as cool when there's fluorescent lights directly above the game illuminating it. Honestly, it's a lot more impressive on the CV. Circus Voltaire.
Another game that Chris has at home.
I'm from Alabama, I can see what Circus Voltaire.
Let's see what strategy. It looks like Chris is still going for total annihilation. So he's got
He's
2 shots on.
He's 2 shots away from
3 shots. He's got the left ramp, right
And
ramp.
he needs 1 shot in order to. Well, no.
Needs the right orbit, doesn't he?
No, he needs the 2 ramps. He needs 2 shots on his left ramp, 1 shot on his right.
If to pass Tim, he only needs.
He needs this shot right here, pretty much.
But he could take 1 pot shot at the saucer because it's
And he'd
ready.
have it.
He could blow up the saucer for 200 million and automatically pass Tim.
But what he's trying to do right now is every time you complete that, it actually restarts your hurry up and adds 100 million to it. If you get them all, it automatically gives you 1,000,000 points.
So the only shot he needs now is the left ramp, and he'll start a multi-ball called Total Annihilation.
Yep.
And,
He
well, there
decided to
goes
take it,
his...
but-
Oh, he got his hurry up for 259. So he
Nice.
is almost in first place already.
Yep, just off hurry.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad way to play this game in tournament.
Nope, especially based on where the scores were.
Mhm.
He may have it in bonus. Nope.
Nope.
He's going to come in second place, but,
Still, I don't think he's gonna be mad about it.
No.
He played his best.
So, nice quick game,
Very quick game.
which is kind of nice after that marathon game of Spider-Man.
And we're coming up on Ghostbusters.
So going into Ghostbusters, Chris has 4 points, Tim has 5 points, Josh has 6 points, and David had a nice game there, came in first place and got 3 points.
Ghostbusters is one of those games I really don't know how I feel about. Personally, I think it has potential. I think it's a fun game. But there's things about it that I love.
Oh
things
gosh,
about it that I
that ball jumped
hate.
over the out lane and into the shooter lane.
That's Ghostbusters.
That's a wonderful pinball moment right there where you really never know what's going to happen.
Well, Ghostbusters, just mechanically speaking, is not well designed. Your balls like jump out the outlanes. There's a massive Trudeau gap.
Yeah.
It's
Just like that. He didn't even try.
Yeah,
because-
it's a game that's so hard it's not even student fun.
It's weird, though, because there are a lot of things to love about this game.
There's a lot of things to
The
love.
artwork.
The artwork is
Dirty Donnie's
gorgeous.
artwork on this game is...
Probably one of the most, I'd say, nicest art packages Stern's ever put into a game.
Is it Dirty Donnie?
No, it's not.
Zombie Yeti.
Zombie Yeti.
Zombie Yeti's art on
Dirty
this
Donnie
game.
did Metallica.
Yeah.
I want to say he also did.
He did.
Did he do Aerosmith? Now the Aerosmith art is beautiful. Like, if you look, you can find about 10 cigarette butts on that photo. I love it. He really put a lot of detail into those cigarette butts. But yeah, it's just I don't think Trudeau really designed the game well. Either that or Stern's cheapness kind of.
See, again, with the middle gap there is so large, it's just hard to get anything going.
Yeah, it's like the shots are turned weird. And not to mention, you also have the Scolari brothers, who are two stand-ups, which block your two main shots. And if you hit them, it goes straight down the middle.
Yeah, so they're stand-up targets that during parts of the game are level with the playfield.
Yeah.
And if you start that mode, they pop up in the middle of the way, and it's
Now,
just a
The
terrible.
primary competition way to play Ghostbusters these days is it's called the Tim Street strategy, which is play video mode all day, every day, and get that cool 60 mil every single time you play. If you beat video mode, I think you get like 60 mil.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's left-right alternating. It's a lot like some arcade games like it, but as you can see, you just cannot save balls using flippers.
It looks like the game is leaning a little bit to the right, which is
It's
what
probably
down
a
there.
little bit. I'm a lazy cat. I don't like playing games very often. It's on me.
Well, that's just part of it. You know, that's the thing. You can walk up to one Ghostbusters, do really well on it, and get used to the way it plays, and step up to the one literally right next to it, and it'll play totally
For
different.
example, the fellow in the tan shirt in the back, it's Mike Gray. He actually has a Ghostbusters on location over at a venue called Saturn, and it plays great. It's a Ghostbusters Pro. Plays decent. Whereas the one here, it's always kind of played like crap. He's a local operator, does a lot of work with a lot of games in the area.
Yep. I think we were talking about him during ACDC.
I believe so, yeah.
With that guy right there in the tan shirt.
The Tiltmeister himself.
Yes, that is Mike Gray, who is famously known for the grayscale.
Of how hard you can tilt a game. He likes to do, quote, coin box checks to make sure there's quarters in the game.
That's right.
Yes, he does.
If you hear it ain't a tilt unless you hear some rattling. So Chris is going to step up here. One of the things that I really don't like about this game is the skill shot. There's an exploit that you can...
Yeah, there's a bug in the code. You can also do it on Aerosmith. I want to say Kiss, too, where the shooter lane cannot detect if you do a double plunge. So if you do a really quick double plunge, the shooter lane will think that the ball is in play, and so when you hit this first switch you hit, the game thinks it's actually gone around a loop because it hasn't registered that it hasn't come out of the shooter lane.
Rough.
Rough.
Tough Drain from Chris Serra. This is just a game that eats you up. And the one person who gets that one ball going is going to be the guy who wins it.
Pretty much.
Because everybody else is going to
really
get...
good ball going on this.
It's just going to get whomped.
Absolutely whomped.
But, David surprisingly does play this game pretty well most of the time.
David's a fantastic player. He actually owned a Ghostbusters Premium for a while, which would explain why.
Yeah, there were a lot of issues, actually, from the factory with these games. The playfield inserts were lifting from the clear coat.
They were misspelled as well.
Or were they really?
Yeah, negative reinforcement.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, and there are a lot of ghosting issues. Not nearly as bad as the first run of Spider-Man Vault Editions or first run of Star Wars, but pretty bad.
They actually had started a program where if your playfield started lifting, you could send in your entire playfield in a box and they would send you a brand new one.
Good luck getting to do that.
Yeah.
I'm speaking not in any official capacity. Out of all the customers I've recommended that who bought Stern machines, only I think 2 of them have ever actually gotten Stern to replace it. Not to say that they don't do it. It's just it's not exactly easy.
So not much going there for David, which is kind of to be expected on this game. I have not seen anybody do the skill shot exploit to start the modes though. Because I think a lot of people are going for the video mode, which you can't start.
Yep, as you see, I'm going for video mode. I'm trying to do the weird bounce. Give me that weird bounce. Moving around. Yep,
Nice.
That's really what you want to try to do, is do just a dead bounce off of there. You always choose don't cross the streams because ESP sucks. As you can see, you're going left, right, left, right, left, right.
I like to play this game differently than most people.
How do you play it, Alex?
I will always start just a regular mode.
Yeah, if you get 15 ghosts,
And then-
ghosts, it'll give you. You get 60 mil.
And then play for video mode in the game, because if you're to me at least, you're denying yourself the opportunity to score points, because once you're finished with your video mode, you have nothing, and you have to take the long way around to start
You
your
really
actual
do.
modes.
Honestly, if I'm going to be playing for a really good game, the first thing you should go for is your captive balls. 2 captive balls at the start of ball 1 locks your 3 locks, lights
Right.
your 3 locks for the rest of the game.
And that
Is incredibly valuable.
Yeah, and so if you're able to hit the left ramp, that'll lock a ball, and you get into what's called storage facility
Yep,
multi-ball,
store facility multi-ball.
which you which
Ghostbusters
is another
fun for
opportunity.
the whole family.
Another opportunity to keep the ball in play, which in this game, as brutal as it is, having backup balls in play is huge.
Oh, absolutely.
So there you go. There's an opportunity.
So there's
for
one storage
one
lock.
lock for Tim.
Keep in mind it comes out rough.
So you don't have, Tim's been playing for a good while here. He's still under 1 million points.
He is. It's the second lock. His third is lit, so if he can make this next shot.
If you walk up to this game in a bar and you don't know the rules, you're gonna leave it feeling very disappointed.
You will. I mean, it's very much a game where you have to know what you're doing.
You have to know the rules, and you have to know how to play, because the game itself is set
Nice
up to play so
backhand.
difficult.
Nice backhand, throwing him straight into storage facility. Also, the light show on this game is beautiful.
Yeah, they really did a great job with that, no doubt. That's the thing. There's things to love about it, and there's things to hate about it.
And it's one of those games where I love the things that I love about it almost as much as I hate the things about it. I've never owned this game. Unless someone offered me it dirt cheap, and I'd probably just resell it. But it's a game. And when you guys add a ball, nice, off his captain ball.
But they sold a lot of them.
It was a very strong sold. Last year, when it first came out, I probably sold close to 10, 15 new in-box ones on the retail floor. So it was a very popular game when it came out. I think the production numbers on this.
You know what really sold it for a lot of people, I think, before they played this game was the artwork.
The artwork and the fact that the movie had just
and
come
the
out.
theme, yeah.
And it was, I think, honestly, a lot of the sales were a response to the kickback on how crappy the new Ghostbusters movie actually was. They wanted, something they could, or like, now my only complaint as far as thematically on this game, there's very little references to Ghostbusters 2. I mean, you have the Scolari brothers, you have that guy who's in the portrait, but really, I mean, you don't have, Lady Liberty with the the Nintendo Advantage. You don't really have a lot of those things, which, in my opinion, were Ghostbusters 2 and Ghostbusters the Animated Series are the epitome of Ghostbusters.
So you could see with like a 30-second multi-ball there, you could see with a 30-second multi-ball there, I mean, Tim is already gotten a replay, so he's far and away ahead of other players.
And he's
about
at
double
120
this.
million, which in a standard game, that's usually what if you're playing it averagely what you're going to get. But this is no average game. This is finals.
So there was
Christopher Warren trying to go for the exploit.
Yeah, so
now he
he's-
should have let it drain. He did. So now he can
so he's
actually
just
retry that exploit.
just gonna pop the ball up
See
just
how he
enough
pops
to
it
where
and
it
pops
doesn't.
it back. And see how it instantly gave him the skill shot?
So that will instantly start your modes, and if you don't do that, then you have to hit.
So it gives you a
scoop.
couple mil. Yeah, it gives you a couple mil. It starts, you don't have to hit the scoop for modes. Modes are lit off each individual shot.
Oh,
After
right.
you
So but you
qualify.
have to hit it 2 or
Yeah,
3
you qualify
times.
them off. You qualify modes off slime, or spelling out ghosts / both, or finishing your mode. If you finish your mode, it'll automatically light all your shots.
See, Chris knows the game well enough to know that if you leave that shot on the right for the last one in the mode, it'll send you right into your next mode.
Yep. So
So he's just trying to figure out now a way to get the ball to left flipper.
unless you hit it badly, if you backhand it real soft, it'll just finish it up. But if it goes all the way around the loop, it'll absolutely throw you into it's the hurry up mode. This is one of those games where it's kind of weird because I've only ever I've gotten to the wizard mode a few times, but never the super wizard. In most modes, I've never actually gone down the whole tree because they're so hard to complete.
Right.
Like this one has like 4 or 5 different modes into it. And you've got Stay Puft, you've got Goes to the Gozerian. I usually, whenever I try to actually go for wizard mode, I'm doing it off my main ramp, which is the left ramp, and my back off man shot, which is also the librarian ghost, because that only requires 2 to finish up a tree. I want to say if you finish up 2 trees, it's either 1 tree or 2 trees, it lights your "We came, we saw, we kicked ass."
And if you didn't understand any of that, it's just a testament to how difficult it is to understand this game.
It is. It's a very the rule set is, I wouldn't call it incredibly deep, but it's fairly deep. I mean, you have to know the rules in order to play it. So
Yeah, it's like, so the modes themselves are not that deep. It's the other stuff that you have to worry about.
It's knowing how your modes interact with each other. It's knowing how to start them. It's knowing which ones you want to light and win. As you can see, nasty.
Another drain out the center.
Right down the middle.
And he is not pleased with that game.
Not pleased at all.
All right, so David is up here. Let's see where he's at. So he is actually in
very nice
second
bed bounce.
place.
I don't know why it rejected out of that scoop. It really should have given it to him. So as a result of how crappy this game really is.
You know, he's not in a bad place here, considering he hasn't started his multi-ball, hasn't really started any modes.
There we go. Finally
Just got another video mode, so if he can complete this, he'll basically be tied with Tim, and if he's able to get something going here on this ball, he's got a real opportunity to win this
And
game.
really, the trick to video mode is keeping it so that when you kill one of the ghosts, your beam can just immediately slide on back without getting overwhelmed. As you can see, that one on the end, you didn't quite catch it in time. You should have been 1-0. But you really have to keep those beams right in the center. Time it perfectly.
So let's see what David does after this. It looks like he's got a storage facility lit. His locks are lit, which is a really good position for him to be in. He's almost caught up with Tim, so essentially what he needs to do now is make that shot right there one more time. Oh, I'm sorry, he starts it right now.
Yeah, throws himself right in the storage facility.
So this is really an ideal situation for David. You know, if he's able to get some good points here, Tim has already spent his multi-ball, so the chances of him coming back are going to be slimmer because, you know, to start your multi-ball you have to hit 2 captive balls and then lock 3 locks. Well, you know, that's a lot to do on a game with a flipper gap this size.
It's a massive flipper.
So, you know, if you're scoring 3, 4, million points a jackpot here, super jackpot grows to 6 million, really adds up, and he's out of it pretty quickly. Got a ball save though. So, you know, most of your main shots are counting towards your jackpots. He doesn't have any modes stacked in with it, I don't think. Can you stack modes in it?
You cannot stack modes in this game. You can stack a multi-ball. No, actually, no, you can't. I don't think
So if you start a mode and then start
Well, you can stack multi-balls in mode, but you can't actually stack mode in mode. He has an add-a-ball. Is it add-a-ball or something lit off his scoop? It might be Tobin's. Tobin's Spirit Guide, which is your mystery.
does a nice nudge.
I want to say Tobin's Spirit Guide is mentioned in the first movie, but it's mainly expanded upon in the second movie.
Looks like he is working to light his locks again.
Yeah, it looks. And I don't think that's the best strategy. Just because it's such a dangerous shot.
I would agree. I think there are other opportunities that are easier to get to. I would rather start a
lot
mode.
less risk for a lot more reward.
Yeah. So let's see if he's able to come back around to it. Mystery scoop.
Yep. And extra ball, which is points.
5 million. It's not worth a whole lot on this, or maybe it is.
I think it's still 5 million because it's using the older code base. It also lights the super jackpot.
Yeah.
Nice save off that. Really nice save, Dave.
Yeah. So this game gives out a
Dangerous
super
shot.
jackpot. Oh, that's really too bad because he had a good opportunity there to score some decent points off the
really
super
good
jackpot and get a lock for towards the next multi-ball.
Yeah.
So it's a bad time to drain,
Actually,
but
it wasn't points. He actually gave him a real extra ball. I apologize for that.
so even better for David.
I'm used to playing in league tournament play when we turn off our extra balls. So I think he's going for video mode.
Might as well.
Which is risky, but very much worth it if you pay off.
And it does.
Nice shot.
Yep.
Very nice shot to that. So one, it gave him 21 mil off the bat just for making the shot. And then also it gives him the ability to earn 60 mil off the video mode if he plays his cards right.
Yeah. This is another one of those games where if you're able to
Know the rules and know how to, I wouldn't say exploit them, but use them to your fullest advantage, you can earn big.
and part of that, especially with this game, is keeping the ball in play because
Absolutely.
they know that it's difficult to do.
Nice.
So
He
if
beat
you're
video
able
mode
to,
there, yep.
This is a game where the scores are constantly increasing if you can keep your ball in
Oh,
play. So this is a really
I'm really glad that Stern's getting back into doing video modes because really, I think from like 2005 to about 2013 or so, they didn't really have any video modes.
nice save. So this is the David that we're used to seeing though before that drain.
Absolutely,
was-
where he's just consistently making his shots, not doing anything spectacular, but at the same time playing very well and
playing
very,
A division.
playing at A division level.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
So it looks like you're also going for video mode here.
I am probably screwing up my shot because I'm not good at this game. I just screwed up. So I have to hit Slimer in order to
So
get.
that's why I don't necessarily agree with that strategy on this game. Is because when you miss that,
Oh, you're hosed.
you're totally
Yes.
in no man's land in terms of where you go next.
Fun fact: the term "your toast" was actually coined by this film.
Which one?
Ghostbusters, yeah.
How about that?
Bill Murray.
So, I feel like there was a missed opportunity there. If you could have started a mode, you could have at least put some distance between you and Chris.
Oh, absolutely. If I had actually started a mode, if I had actually gotten some locks, I could have probably done something. I didn't.
But you have to play this game almost thinking that you're gonna have a 40-second ball at the most.
At most, absolutely. So you have to pretty much say, how many points can I get in 40 seconds?
Which is
For
not-
some people, that's video mode. For some people, that's lighting locks. It really just depends on your personal strategy.
Tim also is going for the video mode here.
Your own personal strategy.
Yeah, nice
bounce in
Yeah.
video mode. Look at what happens.
Yeah, he's loving that one.
And he decides to not cross the streams. A game that is enjoyed by children everywhere in ballparks.
That was a nice bounce. Good decision making from Tim. Let's see if he's able to finish out the video mode. And while he's doing that, I would like to take the opportunity to give a few shout outs to people in the Magic City Pinball League who did not make A Division Finals.
Oh, absolutely. He probably should have. Frank Williamson, for example.
Yeah, Frank's a great player.
Atlee Densmore.
Yes, the Bushes who have been with us now for a couple of
Bushes?
Yeah, Pat and Tracy Bush.
Oh, yeah, Pat and Tracy Bush. Gotcha. George Jr.
Let's see. Johnny, I think we gave a shout out. Johnny,
Yeah, Johnny
during
Waits,
ACDC.
most handsome man in the league. Absolutely.
Let's see. I know we're gonna forget some people. Anthony Dixon, the
Oh,
whole
Anthony
Dixon
Dixon.
family.
Oh, the whole Dixon family.
They're great folks.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. You could see Leo Miller there in the background, scratching his arm.
Leo Miller, absolutely.
Checking out the
fantastic
action.
player. Also, fantastic guy when it comes to restoring early solid-state valleys.
Yep.
That's really his passion.
And also Dwayne.
Yeah, Dwayne Connell.
Dwayne Connell is another
known
great
as
restorer.
Enod on the online circles.
Let's see. Who are we forgetting? Derek.
Derek, yeah.
We gave a shout out earlier to Brendan.
Yep.
The Millers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We
the
almost
Millers.
forgot the Millers.
Bill and Jen Miller.
Yeah, great folks.
Yep.
Anyway, if we didn't get around to you, sorry, but we love you and thanks for playing with
We
us.
love you and we support you.
We do. And I'll go ahead and say on record now that we have A Division Finals in the books, if I am not playing, or we'll find somebody to run the cameras for next finals, and we'll put B Division on.
Absolutely, I think B Division finals would be fantastic. Or maybe even film the
Right
pre-finals.
down
This is finals.
Right. Yeah. So this
we
is
may
there are
actually
2 weeks
do
of
like B
finals.
Division pre-finals.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the game. That's high scores. So let's see how those scores turned out. So saith the judges.
So after this game, Chris has 5 points. Tim has 7 points. Josh has.
Oh, he got him off. Man, he got him just barely.
Oh,
64
wow.
versus 67.
Yeah, he got him off of the bonus there. It's really close as we move into Star Wars. The
Star Wars,
scores.
is Star Wars the final game? Star Wars, this is the final game. Game
Yep.
number 5 of a
So
5-game series.
The score currently: Chris with 5 points, Tim with 7 points, Josh with 6 points, and David with 6 points.
So it's tight.
It is anybody's game. At this
Literally
point.
anyone's game. Whoever wins this wins all the marbles. All those marbles belong to them. Even the big ones.
So here we go, full circle.
Oh, yeah.
We started with Steve Ritchie game, and we're going to end on the Steve Ritchie game.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's his finest game to date. The rule set is deep. The rule set is complex. Playfield layout is fast yet forgiving. I'm not a huge fan of the premium model just because of that really, really stupid mechanism they have for the Death Star shot.
Rough drain from there from David.
Really rough drain.
You know.
Really rough drain.
Feel like he probably could have saved that ball, and he knew it too. He knew it was going. It was a slow death drain. Not pleased with that, but you have to bounce back from that
I
because
mean, you really have to.
this is it. I mean, there are no other opportunities, and he did such a great job of coming back on Attack from Mars and
yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Everyone has a bad first ball.
Yeah,
I mean, just like the Michael Jackson concert film, this is it.
you have to set that aside
do.
immediately.
You do.
And if you take the Josh Sharp approach to the game, you have to go into it on the notion that you're gonna have at least one bad ball.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, possibly 3.
You might have 3 bad balls, but if you're so worried about draining, this is something that happens to me a
Now,
lot.
if you notice what Timmy's doing right now is he's trying to light his mode off his indoor shot.
Nice save.
Oh,
Uh,
and it does not help him.
Yeah, it's one of those things. When you
Absolutely.
make that move, you can't make that
And
move
really,
again.
what you want to be doing right now is once you have a mode there, your safest shot, you can backhand or fronthand, is your indoor shot. You can light any mode off that shot if you already have that mode lit.
So let's take a step back. Let's go through the rules real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go over overall rules. So, you've got your 4 different arenas. You've got Hoth, Tatooine, Death Star, Indoor. Hoth, Tatooine, Death Star, Indoor. Yeah, and those are represented by your 4 hot dog-shaped inserts on the playfield. Each one of those has 3 missions. Depending on what character you pick, you're going to have 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3 lit from the get-go. Off your skill shot, you can light Mode Start. Once you complete 3 of those modes, it'll throw you right into multi-ball once you make that shot again. Otherwise, you've got your TIE Fighter, which is what I affectionately call the track and field mode. As soon as you hit that shot, you've got to start smacking the action button in the middle of the playfield in order to get up to 35 TIE Fighters. You can usually squeeze at about 15 during the time it's lit. It's also a hurry up, so the faster you hit it, the more points, and the more times you hit it, the more you win.
This is a really incredibly deep game.
You really have to know what
It's
you're doing.
considering how early the code is. Anyway.
It's only going to get deeper. It's only going to get better once they actually make Boba Fett an actual decent mode, and once they figure out a way to make lightsaber duel not suck so much.
Yeah, that's a mode that we'll see later where you're basically locked in.
You're locked into making a whole bunch of shots and you're like, oh boy, give me points. Oh boy, give me time. I don't want to be in this mode. Another cool mode, which you don't really see too often, is the Hyperspace Hurry Up mode. You can light it off in a yellow shot and playfield. When it does start, a Hurry Up is lit on your nice shot, Chris. And that puts him right into the Destroy the Death Star multi-ball, which is really a well-earning multi-ball.
So he completed the 3.
Yes, he did. He completed 1, which
Right. So he
chose
completed
R2.
the 3 Death Star modes, which.
Well, he completed 1 of them, and he started out with 2 lit off the bat. They're already complete.
Oh, because he picked
Yes,
R2D2.
because he picked R2D2. Absolutely. So that puts him right in the multi-ball. Now the trick to Death Star multi-ball is you hit the 3 bank, and then you hit the Death Star for massive points. Oh, the other main trick to this game is, see the little arrows with X's on there? Use the action button to move those around. Every time you hit the 3 bank, it gives you another bonus X to that shot. So you can have 20, 30X multiplying a single shot, which can be massive.
Yeah, so I think the maximum you can have is a 40x.
Yeah, I mean, you can really micromanage this. Oh, and out the left outlet. That had to hurt.
Yep. I feel like that was a savable one. didn't quite move the game hard enough. I didn't get any dangers, you know, and you can't take those with you.
You really cannot. I mean, it's not like we're tilted ends game.
Yeah,
All Tilt's going to do is end ball, and maybe if you're really rough, the ball the next player playing.
And unless you have a big bonus multiplier on this game,
Oh, yeah.
you know, you can tilt that out. And,
I mean,
and be fine, especially on ball
I
one.
want to say I got to the point in this game where I was getting 60 and 70 mil in bonus, where, in my opinion, on this game, you're playing where I think $1 billion something to win it. It's worth it to do that. And that's a tenth of your score.
Quick ball from David.
Very quick.
You
And
know,
I'm up. I'm letting it sit for a second.
That reminds me of one of my balls in this game. This game and I just don't agree. I'm not a huge fan of this game at all. I don't like the artwork on the playfield. I really can't get over how bad it is.
I mean, thanks Disney licensing the intellectual
Yeah,
property
to
department.
me,
You suck.
this game, you know, Steve Ritchie's one of my favorite designers, and it's not like he phoned in the design, but I feel like they phoned in the opportunities. You know, they could have done like some really cool things with the force, put magnets under the playfield.
Yeah, but
or-
I feel like a lot of that's based on cost.
Oh, that's kind of what I was
Because,
getting at.
I mean, honestly, Stern's MO lately, not to knock them, I've never been ripping on them a whole lot. I love Stern, I love they still make pinball.
they do make great games.
They make great games, great people that work there, I've met them. I work for a distributor who distributes their games. But at the end of the day, lately over the past few years, they've been focusing more on the bottom line, and that means cutting costs. And sometimes it's a good thing, and it doesn't hurt things. Sometimes it really sucks.
Yeah, like, so for example, a game like Metallica, you know, it doesn't feel incomplete. Like, it doesn't feel...
Yeah, a pro model versus a
cheap.
premium model doesn't feel cheap. Whereas Star Wars Pro, compared to a premium, feels a little cheap. Or, a really bad example, Game of Thrones premium versus pro. Or the fact they swapped from latching lockdown bars, which move with one single movement, to 2 snap lockdown bars. Well, that's really technical stuff, but still, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, well, I appreciate you not putting any more money. Or,
Yeah. It just seems like, to me, there were a lot of things they could have done in this game.
Star Wars, when it first came out, was, in my opinion, plagued with cheap technical problems. I had to send 2 or 3 playfields back because the clear coat was so thin that the dimpling was reaching the millimeters, and it was ghosting so badly it looked like it was just like, you know, something you'd find at a yard sale as far as, hey, here's our
Here's a game we've had in our basement for 30 years.
No, I mean, I wouldn't even say that. It was like, here's our ones we use to test ink.
Ah.
It felt like a test game. And I don't mean that in a good way.
Yep.
Nasty drain.
Yeah. That
Nasty
came right off of that target bank below the LCD screen there.
And that's honestly, there's a reason why your mode
You want to
multiplier
avoid...
shot is right there, because it's such a dangerous shot.
When you're playing games and you just walk up to a game, let's say, you want to avoid a shot like that, anything that is pointed directly back toward the flipper. Because it's going to be so fast that before you look up, the ball is going to be gone.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
So let's see what Tim's able to do here on his second ball. It didn't really get anything going on the first one. But again, you know, this is the type of game that Tim really excels at.
And I don't know exactly why he decided to go for a short plunge there rather than going for his multiplier off his bank and or his force skill shot. 'Cause there's 2 separate skill shots you can go for. One is the roving shot. It's on the 3 bank up top. And the other is whatever force letter's lit will give you a full bank just for damage. Really nice shot right there that lights his hyperspace hurry up. You finish up 2 hyperspace hurry ups and it throws you into almost like strobe multi-ball, but it's called hyperspace multi-ball, where it blocks a ball behind that shot. And you have to hit it, otherwise it's gone.
So right now you can see that was a hyperspace shot, and the other hyperspace shot that's right now is on the right scoop.
Yes, it is.
Nice save.
That's not hyperspace slip. That's mystery.
See, a lot of beginning players would have let that ball go right down the drain for fear of
So he
tilting.
saved it. That was a very good save. You can tell he's sweating bullets.
And with these newer Sterns, they have what's called a D-bounce.
Really?
And
Tell me more.
A D-bounce is a timer between so if you're thinking about the tilt bob, when it hits, it registers a hit.
Mm-hmm.
The D-bounce is a fraction of a second that the code allows for another hit, so that you can get away with more wiggle on the tilt bob, but it doesn't register every time it hits. So, for
I
example,
did not know that. The more you know.
if you give it a really good shake, you may get away with a double danger, even though the tilt bob actually hits 5 or 6 times.
Because it hits in such quick succession.
Right.
And that's why Bally Williams, in my opinion, tilts so easy.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no D-bounce circuit on there.
They didn't start adding that until later in the Ballard Williams run.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. The more you know.
So Tim is out again. A comfortable score on this game you would think would be about $1,200,000,000. This is a really
I'd say about $2 bill.
a long playing game.
A good long playing game team, you got $2 bill, $2 bill, $3 bill.
So another high scoring game. Let's see what Chris is able to do here. And, you know, Chris has been sort of quietly going about his business today.
He has. He's been kind of, you know, going through the paces, chopping wood where he needs to, but otherwise taking care of it, you know?
I don't think he has any wins, but he still has put himself in an
a decent
opportunity,
position.
you know, yeah, in a position to take the win.
Absolutely.
So he came in.
And as you can see, he's going for his indoor. He lights his Tatooine mode actually off of his indoor.
So he came in third on AC/DC, Spider-Man, and Ghostbusters. And
Now he
then
chose Escape from Mos Eisley, which in my opinion is not a good mode to go for. The way that mode works is you hit your ramps, and then you have a 5-second timer to hit your Death Star shot, or else it times out and you have to hit your ramps again. It is a tough mode to get out of. The other problem with Star Wars, not even a problem, you cannot time out any modes.
Woo, nice
Good save.
Wow.
That was a really good save.
Great showcase of flipper skills.
That was definitely flipping at maximum capacity.
But you think he chose that mode because there was only one left to start his multi-ball?
No, he had 2 other modes he could have chosen for Tatooine. I just think he chose it because he doesn't really... He's not really going for Tatooine as a mode, per
So I
se.
think he's going for the indoor multi-ball.
Oh, he
on the
absolutely is
bottom.
going for indoor. Absolutely, no question about it.
So I think,
he just chose it because he wanted something else to pile on. He didn't realize what a difficult mode it is.
yeah. So Tatooine was sort of incidental.
Absolutely incidental. I think it was chosen, I wouldn't say carelessly, but carelessly.
So he didn't complete the mode, obviously, because he didn't
Not
start
yet.
his
He's still working on his indoor.
So to
yeah,
relight
his-
your mode, how do you do that?
Is that him?
How do you relight your modes?
I mean, you just...
Is he still in it?
He's still in it, yeah. You stay in the mode. It does not time out. Nice. He finally made his Death Star shot. A good Death Star shot.
Nice combo shots.
And that actually put him, like I was saying, in hyperspace multi-ball. See how the ball is trapped up there? Trying to get control of it.
So it's a hurry-up shot. You want to make
Yep.
that same shot
And
again,
it's gone.
and it'll give you an opportunity
Hyperspace
for...
multi-ball is coming.
The quicker
came
you do
in.
it, the more points you get.
Yep.
And when you do hit it, it'll start a multi-ball.
And then it'll actually lock balls back up there, and you have to keep on doing that in order to keep it going.
But unfortunately, he drained out and wasn't able to take advantage of that opportunity.
And I believe, okay, so we finished his Tatooine mode, but he's still finishing up his indoor. Indoor is 6 shots. And he finished it up. He's got Battle Above Indoor lit. I think he's going to stack that with nice, very nice stacking. Battle Above Indoor is your standard multi-ball, while I think the escape pod's actually just 4 hurry-up shots. That's all it is. They're not even hurry-up shots, it's just like, hey, complete 4 shots in the playfield.
So he is in indoor multi-ball.
Indoor multi-ball mixed with his last Tatooine.
So is this an opportunity? So if you say you're in this situation, are you going for Tatooine shots or are you going for indoor
I'm going for
jackpots?
Tatooine shots. The sooner I have that done, the sooner, as soon as I drain off my indoor, I can throw myself right back into another multi-ball.
So it's sort of the Spider-Man strategy here.
Absolutely, we're still building momentum. Absolutely. And he's down to 1 ball,
Yeah.
but he's got, I want to say,
Hit off the other
he's got
ball.
2 shots left on his game. His Tatooine. 1.
That sort of reminds me of like an anti-air defense, anti-aircraft sort of, because it hit off the other ball.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a move, somewhat advanced, I would say, intermediate skill level flipper skill called an air, what's it called? Air save, air defense. Called an air defense, where if you have a ball, and this is another reason to keep that 1 ball in play on the flipper on multi-ball, because if you have a ball going right down the center, you can use that ball
Smack
to
it out of the
knock
way.
it right out of the way.
And I do that very often. I do a lot of air defense in my play.
Called an air defense. This is
Yeah.
cool to see.
Now he's got Tatooine lit. He's probably going to try to make it off that shot. Either that or he's going to try to light Hoth in order to give it to him. because that is a tough shot to hit the actual Tatooine shot.
Yeah, that's a sort of a Steve Ritchie staple, is that he has a scoop on either side of the playfield.
Yep.
Always. It's always on the very tip of the flipper.
Usually mystery, and he actually just threw himself into TIE Fighter multi-ball, 35 TIE Fighter.
Steve Ritchie, one of Steve Ritchie's first games, started that. Firepower has one.
Yep. Well, actually, Steve Ritchie's first game is Airborne Avengers.
Airborne Avengers,
which is a Atari game, which sucks. Like most Atari games of that era. They didn't really have any good ones.
Star Trek has one.
Oh, yeah, so sort of scoops, yeah. Terminator 2, Terminator 3, I want to say has one.
So, sort of a Steve Ritchie staple.
Spider-Man doesn't have one, but I think it makes up for it by having a third flipper up there, because Spider-Man's a lot more like high speed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or high speed 2, really. Nice cradle separation there.
Sort of clogging away.
He's trying to get his Tatooine multi-ball still.
So all he's got to do is shoot that flashing orange shot right there.
Or,
just missed it.
Or light another mode shot in order to go into it.
See, he's just a little early.
Which I think is what he should be doing, but...
I'm surprised, though, because that Chris is really good at making adjustments in the middle of the
He
game.
typically is, and I think right now, because it's the last game of the series, he's letting his nerves get to him.
And that's the way that he practices.
Also, keep in mind, he's playing with a handicap.
There it is. So you could tell he was a
very
little bit
very
annoyed
elite.
and frustrated
Well, he's
with
playing with a
that.
handicap tonight and does not have his headphones.
Yeah.
He typically plays with a nice pair of noise-canceling headphones, allows him to really get in the zone.
Good to see him smile. It means he's having fun.
Oh, absolutely. And pinball is all about having fun. You shouldn't take it too seriously. You shouldn't be having a bad time or stressing yourself out over it unless there's money involved. In which case, totally stress yourself out about it.
But it is nerve-wracking.
It absolutely. I mean, it definitely. Your heart. You'll get some mild heart palpitations from playing pinball. So, most doctors would probably be ambivalent. Ambivalent. That's the word. Ambivalent towards pinball. But some who know the game may or may not be having feelings about it. Some palpitations.
So right now,
Lightsaber. There it is.
he just locked himself into this mode
That's the only thing he can do.
until
Now the light show is impressive. Watch this light show. It's I skipped it. But anyway, it kind of goes. It starts out blue and then goes to red. It's a really cool looking mode.
unfortunately, and the mode itself is not bad. It's just
it
not
locks-
worth anything.
It's not worth anything, and it locks you into making shots where the playfield is strobing so violently you can't even really tell what's going on. Which honestly is a code issue, but it's turn.
So it'll be a while before it gets corrected.
Yeah, I mean, we just finally got the final Walking Dead update last week, so
It's a shame nobody picked that as a great game. Yeah. So the good news, at least for that drain, is that he's out of the mode.
he's out of the mode.
So-
No, actually, he's not out of the mode.
Oh, is he not?
No, you can drain this until you finish that mode.
Oh my gosh.
It will keep you in. Watch, it'll say one of the selections will actually be add more time to mode. See?
No thanks.
Sucks.
Yeah. So, I mean, the amount of knowledge that you have to have even before you plunge the ball in this game.
If you don't know what you're going to be shooting for after you plunge, you're probably not going to be having a great ball.
But unlike Ghostbusters, where it's similar to that, on this game at least you have the opportunity to keep the ball alive because of the geometry of the game allows it
The
to play
geometry
over.
is much better than Ghostbusters. Absolutely. Art package, not so much.
No. In fact, if you were to put Ghostbusters art on this game,
Oh, imagine
It would've been-
imagine Star Wars with Ghostbusters art, like kind of cartoony yet very stylistic.
hand drawn, you could tell it took some effort.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Whereas this game is literally just the photos that Disney said it was okay to use.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
And the cabinet and the translite all look great. The
Oh yeah,
playfield
I mean
looks
the cabinet's
cool.
awesome, but the playfield itself is just kind of like someone's using Photoshop. Now keep in mind, it's not as bad as, in my opinion, Kiss. In my opinion, Kiss, while still mildly hand drawn, is one of the worst art packages ever done by Stern.
Yeah, well, they were trying to do the callback to the 70s.
Well, the
'cause-
problem is they didn't pay him enough to finish the art. Like if you look in the background of the back glass, you can still see the low quality JPEG reference images he used. Like the stage, you can see the JPEG compression on there. It's crap.
I'll have to look at that next time.
Take a real close look at the Kiss back glass when you have a chance, and you'll see just how truly lazy it is. playfield art's okay, but
So it's-
like backlash.
So it's good to see these A division players.
Back on topic.
It's good to see these A division players, but you know, if I were a B division player, what do you think separates an A division and a B division player?
I'd say rules knowledge. I'd say the ability to not crack under pressure. I'd say determination. I'd say drive. Luck's a big part of it, in my opinion. Honestly.
Yeah, but, well, to a degree.
To a degree,
But you know, you'll always have Tim and Chris
Well,
in the finals.
Well, the way I see it is, when I say luck, I also mean nudging. Because nudging is honestly half luck.
But that is also a learned skill.
Absolutely, and when I see someone who nudges well, I see someone who's pretty much taking the odds into their own hands.
If you don't nudge, you're not going to get any luck.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. If you, the better you nudge, the more lucky you're going to be.
Yeah, so you bring up an interesting point. And the person that comes to mind for me is Johnny. Johnny's a new player.
Oh yeah,
But he has the skill set to be a really good player.
very good nudge from David there on the outlane. And it's
He got a ball save, but gosh, he got a fiery outlane there.
that was a fiery outlane. But his first save he got on there was delicious.
Another great save. Flipper
Very,
save.
I mean, he's really on fire.
See, that's the thing. You know, David doesn't wow you until he has to, and that
Really,
right there.
he shakes that machine around.
So that tilt right there, when we were giving out the Huffy Awards,
That is what awarded him the official Huffy Award.
the Mike Gray Best Rage Tilt of Finals Huffy Award,
Absolutely.
right there. And you know what? I can
there's
understand
a lot-
it.
Yeah, and I understand this frustration. You know, it's just one of those things that happens. You know, you really get to the point where, yeah, I mean, it really, it can do that for you.
And after having come off 2 straight wins, you think you're really starting to get things going.
And it doesn't happen. Sometimes it just does not play out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just absolutely does not play, and that's okay. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, the really unfortunate part for David is that he had a rough start.
a
to the
very
day.
rough start.
You know,
David
when you
had
start out with 2 zeros and then you go,
I mean, he was
it's hot
definitely
and
going in
cold.
there with some momentum of that underdog mentality, but you know, when he does, I mean, that underdog mentality really helps push him through where he needs to be, and that's just something about him, and it's something about any kind of player playing at that sort of level.
But you notice that the 3 games that he did not play well were all Steve Ritchie games.
Absolutely, and he really could not get into the on the fly play.
Yeah.
On the fly play, in my opinion, is not his strong suit, as he doesn't really own any games that he practices on regularly that reward that. I mean, he mainly owns EMs and early '90s DMDs, where a lot of it's stop and go gameplay. For example, his favorite game of all time is Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry, yep.
Dirty Harry, which you cannot play on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
You try playing Dirty Harry on the fly, and
Maybe
No.
something for him to
work on.
learn,
Absolutely.
right? To take
Absolutely.
take note of and say, hey,
Yeah.
well, maybe
Not
I should
ripping
go
on
play
him,
Star
just,
Trek for a couple
You know,
hours.
I'm not very good at
flowy games.
I'm not good at floating.
Well, I was talking about David.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe something that he can.
Yeah, like personally, I'm not very good at 90s Gottliebs. I'm very bad at those.
Well, good news is they don't come up in tournaments that often
Thank God.
because most of them are garbage.
Hoops is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I really like Hoops. You ever play Hoops?
I've never played it, but I saw they were playing it in Philadelphia.
I'm a
this
big
year.
fan of Hoops. David definitely converted me over to the cult of Hoops. I think it's a fantastic.
Oh, does he have that game?
Yeah, he has.
I
Hoops.
didn't know that. I have to
Yeah.
go over there and play it.
Yeah, it's actually really fun. The music is, shoot, man.
So this is a good right here. Good slowing the game down.
Oh, absolutely.
Taking-
That's absolutely what I'm doing right there. Slowing the game down.
Take a break. Make sure
Taking
you
a
have all
breather.
your balls under control.
Yep.
You know, here's an attempted cradle separation there. it
Which
looks
is
like.
actually awards me very well. It bounced off that. Oh, nice, and that gives me another bonus X.
Yep.
Oh,
So,
and nothing out of that.
Yeah. That was a
So-
savable ball, I think, but
But I've got my Hoth multi-ball. lid.
yeah, I mean, you have to consider where you're at, and you
Oh,
have to
yeah.
do it very quickly. You know.
I mean, look at where you're at. Look at where you started. I mean, the fact that you're still in the game is a miracle. Absolutely.
So this video mode's actually worth a pretty decent amount of points.
Yeah.
I guess this would be the Kessel run.
Yes, this is the Kessel Run. Actually, no, I think that's not the Kessel Run. If we're talking about actual Star Wars canon, this is the scene from Empire, where they're going through the asteroid field.
Oh, I
With
see.
the big old worm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Remember, it's like because Leia's like,
That's
"Help
no
if I
cave."
pushed," and then like Han's like, "It might." It's funny because she's a princess.
Oh gosh. Snow Cave.
Looking for love in all the wrong places.
So you are just over 700 million.
I am. I'm playing very good. I think I actually play a very good Hoth multi-ball in this one.
So unfortunately for David, he's out. But
Now the nice thing about Hoth multi-ball, in a lot of the multi-balls since the new code update, every single shot that the force targets is a jackpot. So you can really do well off, just playing it slow, slowing it down, hitting your shots.
sort of reminiscent of the Green Goblin mode in Spider-Man.
Actually, it really is. I didn't put two and two together before, but it's very similar to Green Goblin. And I want to say video mode lit off that shot over there. I've got extra ball, which definitely makes me happy, as you can tell.
So extra balls are not turned off.
Extra
You're
balls are
allowed
not
to
turned
play
off.
one extra ball.
Yes, the second extra ball you must plunge. But, now this is the kicker, and this will come up in just a few minutes. You may pick a skill shot. You may use the flippers. You may not touch the plunger. You may not do anything after the ball is launched. But before the ball is launched, you can set up a skill shot. You can set up lanes. In a game like this, you can actually pick what mystery award you're going to get.
So that was a savable ball there, and you didn't really move the... But I'll tell you why. Because when you get that extra ball, you know in your head that you have that cushion, so you
kind of
tend to relax a
you
little
play
bit.
sloppy, honestly.
Yeah. And that's not you, that's everybody.
I think so, absolutely. And that could have been savable, but I don't think I wanted to tilt off my bonus. Because I think at this point...
It was worth, it looks like a little over 100 million.
Yes, it was. So my bonus was significant.
Which,
guess I
based
got
on the
bonus
scores,
on one of the
where they're at
mysteries.
now, so you are over, you're close to $1 billion, 976 it looks like.
Yes.
Timmy is at 313,
And
and
here I am in the lightsaber duel.
Chris is over $1 billion right now.
This is over $1 billion, yes.
So whoever wins this game essentially wins the tournament.
Absolutely. Whoever wins this game takes home all the marbles, including the little ones that are about the size of blueberries and the ones that are the size of grapes. Marbles are definitely involved.
That you should have bounced that over.
I should have.
Yeah, you see, this is the reason why I wanted to do this series. Is
Absolutely.
because-
So we can not critique, but look at how we're playing, and
To
get
play-
a feel for it and see what we can do better. So it's
learn
all
how to
about
play
playing
better.
a better game.
Right.
You
Which
know?
is why I think it's going to be interesting when we film B Division.
Because I think there's going to be a lot more room for improvement.
And if we say anything, just for future notice, if we say anything, it's not in an attempt to belittle or to offend or
absolutely
anything
not.
like
No,
that.
we have
you
the
know,
utmost respect for our fellow league players and our friends, honestly.
it's just things we would have done different.
Absolutely. It's a lot of, I personally would have done that better. It's kind of like players looking at the post-game film reel and saying, hey, this is what I could have done better. This is what I'll do next time. This is what I'll personally improve on.
And for me, this season I would have changed jobs so that I could have played in the finals.
Yes, I think. Well, I don't know about that.
I'm kidding. Yeah.
But absolutely. And I'm very thankful that my job allows me to, as a service manager of Bumpernecks Inc., allows me to, it supports me in playing the league and helping make this league possible. Because it wouldn't be possible without
Nice saves there, both of them.
without the kind and fantastic job that Homer Brown does, our proprietor. Same thing with Adam Brown, his son, Christy Kell, our sales staff, Kevin Huynh, our other sales staff. Absolutely fantastic. We've got Michael, who's our junior sales staff.
If you're in the Birmingham area and you want to play pinball, don't go anywhere other than Bumpernets.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you not where to go.
The game, well, I mean, the games are clean. It's the best place to go.
Honestly, it's the best selection. We keep our games clean. We're responsive. Hey, there's a ball stuck. Yeah, I'll just go and stick it. A lot of places you don't have a tech on duty to instantly fix things.
Right.
I'm not going to say their names, but
there are a
it
couple of
involves
other
something pictures.
there are a couple of other good locations.
Oh, absolutely.
But they don't have the selection. They don't have
an in-house tech. Hava
And
Brewing Company
oftentimes-
has a fantastic selection.
right, and they're usually clean. But
They're
at the
usually
same
clean,
time,
but-
if you get a stuck ball,
You just stuck ball, you're hosed. You get a coin stuck, you're hosed. Something breaks. It's probably going to be a few weeks before someone gets in there to take a look at it. Syndicate Lounge has some good games. Kerrigan's Public House has some good games. Paramount has some
Games.
Games. They're games.
Yeah, they're there. They're there.
They're pinball machines. They're turned on.
All right. So that is the end of your ball.
But
and the
I
end of
do
the
get
tournament.
one extra ball. I do get. Look at my bonus.
Oh, right.
I get 112 in bonus. Now look at what I do here.
Please give me the choice of 5%. Give me the choice of 5%, please.
Please, good Lord, give me the choice of 5%. It does not. Chris is guffawing over that. But look at what I actually pick. I've got hold bonus. I've got a decent amount of modes complete, so that adds to my bonus. But I pick 3x bonus multiplier and let her rip, as they say.
So
in the,
he can't touch the game after the ball launches.
as they say in the Beyblade world. Let her rip.
That's a reference I haven't heard in a while. So after the ball ends, watch what happens here. He did absolutely nothing on this ball
But watch my bonus.
and was able to collect an additional 75 million points in bonus.
For nothing. Money for nothing and the checks for free.
So it looks like Josh finishes with almost 1.5. 491, I think, is where he's at.
Yes,
It's hard
it
to
is.
read on the screen there.
Alex, do you have that score sheet?
I do. So, as it currently sits, David will get 4th place for the season. Congratulations, David. That's excellent work. He played hard all season.
Oh, I played very hard.
The level of competition to get here is really tough. So if you've made the final grouping,
Consider that a award upon itself.
yeah, I mean it's really hard to do that. So Tim is in his 3rd ball. He is currently sitting with 7 points, so he is in the lead. However, he has a lot of wood to chop on this ball.
A lot of wood to chop.
Chris has 5 points, so he has to win, and Tim has to come in 3rd
TIE Fighter, hurry up.
for there to
He's
be a
smacking-
playoff.
Watch how he's using his hand to smack that button while also having one hand on one of the flippers, keeping the ball in play. And that's something I think Star Wars really teaches players to do well, is one-handed play. It really encourages one-handed play, and really rewards you for it. As I said earlier, I was actually using my chin to hit the action button to change my skill shot.
We were calling it, at the time, we were joking about
Being a chin ball
the
wizard,
chin ball wizard.
there has to be a twist. A chin ball wizard has such a
Wow, what a
supple
great
chin.
nudge that was. Did you see?
A
so
really
what he
fantastic
did,
nudge.
so he used the top side of the slingshot to force the ball into the rubber, which is underneath the force targets, and back out into the field of play, instead of if he had done nothing, it would have had just enough momentum to catch the top of the slingshot and bounce right into the out lane. But because he shoved the game, it changes the angle of the bounce, and it also gives enough momentum to get it back into the field of play.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and, he gave it a pretty good shove and didn't get any dangers.
No danger at all.
And when we film C Division or B Division, we'll have to see, the nudging.
Yeah, because you're really looking at, honestly, that's really the dividing line between A and B, is the extent of nudging, the knowledge of the rules, and the ability to, like I said, not crack under pressure.
Yeah, so that's a good one. And the only other one that I would add would be knowing when not to flip.
Exactly, flip versus not flip. Now, there's a lot of games that teach that. Another one is recently, actually, the game that's really in vogue right now. What's that game they just added to Pinball Arcade? David has one. Just bought one. I'm trying to think of what it is, but I'll come back to that.
Anyway, that's a skill that you have to force yourself to learn.
Spanish
And
eyes.
the people that do it, Spanish eyes, that's an old
Spanish
EM.
Eyes is an old EM which really teaches you to flip, not flip. It has a pop bumper between the two flippers, and underneath each flipper is nothing.
That's a interesting setup.
Flip, or to flip or not to flip. So really looking at Timmy, he's already played his Death Star. Looks like he's trying to go for his off, which is nice because he just got himself into a really nice
Hyperspace, hurry up, right?
If he can make it. Now, if he can't make it, he's hosed. But
He does have a ball save at least.
it's gone. now.
It's gone now, so
Nice.
got
and
it.
He shot deep, and that makes him do a 3-ball multi-ball. Now the jackpots are weird to earn because they're all hurry-ups. You get 3 balls, but every single shot is actually a hurry-up. I would hate to play this mode on premium. In case you're not in the know, the premium, the Death Star shot is actually a ramp that goes up and down and makes it so you cannot backhand it.
You can see he's moving around quite a bit.
He is.
I think he's excited. You know, just in the sense that his adrenaline's pumping.
Oh yeah,
and
his ears are probably ringing. Heart's starting to palpitate a little bit.
Yep.
Really some things that you want to see your doctor may not when it comes to pinball.
See, there you go. See, he's calmed down a little bit. Now he's starting to make his shots. He's starting to, settle in. That was nothing really he could have done about that drain.
I thought he has Hoth multi-balled in, which is really what he was going for.
So, but he
He lit his
picked
mode
up.
off indoor. He lit his indoor. Come on, Tim. Hit indoor. Right now he's praying that's going to be a good kick out. He's going to allow him to either hit both of those shots. So if he can't,
Drilled it.
he is hosed.
Yep. So out of one ball, multi-ball, and into another.
Yep. Escape from Hoth, which is a good 2-ball multi-ball because you do have those Green Goblin force targets.
Right. And so he's got his multi-ball, so he'll have his jackpots, and then he'll also have his mode lit. So he's really got an ideal situation here,
Absolutely.
where he has an opportunity to keep the game moving. And he can use the next multi-ball for his Tatooine modes,
Yes.
and then he can get to his wizard mode, potentially basically staying in multi-ball the whole time. So that's the way you want to play this game, and you want to play Spider-Man.
One nice thing I'd like to shout out to the people who did the code for this game. I think it's fantastic the light show they put in, where each individual jackpot does a little flashing animation on Death Star. I think it's really good attention to detail. Speaking of Death Star animations, I think it's almost as good as the game doesn't match on this game. There's actually code that makes the shaker motor go off like crazy whenever the Death Star fires off. Which I think is really good attention to detail. Most of the shaker motor code's actually written off flash lamp calls. So whenever a certain flash lamp actually fires off, that's usually when the game says, hey, fire off the shaker motor.
Did not know that.
Yep.
This is a game that I haven't really spent a ton of time with.
Have.
And Tim is out. And you know what? That's really unfortunate too, because
Especially with the way he's playing.
Yeah, he had a lot of things going. He was he may have an extra ball.
He has an extra
He
ball.
does. Okay. Well, that's really good because he's still got an opportunity to take the win here.
Oh, absolutely.
So you're sitting at just 1.5, so he's got a 500 million points to go.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got one mode to finish before he starts the multi-ball. He can use that to, like I said, keep going, keep working.
And keep in mind, we're on ball 3.
And, he got 350 million points on his last multi-ball, or on the one before last. So it's possible for him to come back.
It's very possible.
And if you're multiplying those shots, and if you know the rules the way that he does, he knows what
He's
he
an
needs to do.
encyclopedia. I mean, he's kind of like I do the same thing, where I play a game 2-3 times, and I've got a pretty good handle on the rules, just from observation and just kind of knowing how they make rules. And saying, hey, they typically don't deviate from this kind of strategy. That's why, if I play a Stern, I can usually figure it out. But if I'm on a Jersey Jack for the first time or second time, I'm lost. Just because it's such a different way of making pinball.
Yeah, I think they're
Good pinball games, don't get me wrong, but it's just so different.
and a lot of the basic stuff's copy and paste.
Especially on Sterns.
Yeah.
Especially on Sterns.
Yeah. Well,
There's a lot of reused code base.
They're pumping out a lot of games every year.
That's a good term for it.
They're putting down a game a quarter, which is
Yep.
hard to do.
Especially with only 1 or 2 programmers on staff.
And
1 or 2
other
mechanical designers
manufacturers
on staff.
are pumping out like one game a year.
Absolutely. So there's a lot more of a level of polish, which Stern does after the fact. Much like the life of Pablo, doing releasing an initial product and tweaking it from there, which is done often in the software world, but in the hardware world is kind of frowned upon.
So he's fairly close now. He's 1.222 billion points,
Yes, absolutely.
and gosh, he got a
raw deal.
that is really unfortunate because there's nothing you can do about that
Nothing.
drain. That is why you want to avoid side-to-side motion as much as you can.
Oh yeah.
This game doesn't typically allow for that motion too often, but a lot of games do.
Oh yeah.
This game, the shots are pretty far back from the flippers, so you don't really get any crazy rebounds, which is why it tends to play pretty long, and you have an opportunity
And really,
to react.
any pinball game, if you're starting to go side to side, it's an issue.
It's a problem. Yeah.
Side to side is going to be just death.
Which is strange because that's one of the things that he's typically pretty good at correcting.
He's typically good at correcting, side to side action.
So unfortunately, he's gonna be third place. He's locked into third place.
He's locked in third, which will likely not give him enough points in order to get his final. So actually now it's down to A Division player Josh Karg and A Division player I want to say Christopher Warren.
That's it.
As far as who's going to be taking home those big boy dollars.
So if Chris can pull off, it looks like he's fairly close to 1.4 billion, and he's got to get really close to 1.5 because I think you're sitting at 1.91 billion is what it looks like.
Yes.
So he doesn't necessarily have to have an
great
enormous ball, but it's out.
Oh,
he's
it's
out.
Oh, that was, you saw that just look on his face.
Poor Chris. But the bonus on this game is huge. He's got 15x, 90 million bonus.
Let's see how it turns out.
Oh my God.
Oh, and he just edged him out. He just barely missed it.
Josh Karg takes home the gold.
Josh Karg gets the win. Everybody, thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. See